Okay. Okairi, welcome back to my channel, Maybe Between the Pages. My name is Taylor, and today we have a super exciting live. We had one just last night as well, but today I'm super hyped for this one. This is the debut of the Whiskey and Books group, which is a temporary name, but we haven't changed the temporary name yet. So for now, it's Whiskey and Books. I have a star-studded group of people here. We have a couple others who may be popping in when they're available. We'll see how long we go. But I want to go ahead and hand it off to everyone that's here. Tell the watchers who you are so that they know who they're talking to. You want to go maybe in a circle? Maybe Andrew, you want to take it first?
Oh, you're going to make me start. Okay, cool.
Pressure.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Andrew's Wizardly Reads. I am a booktuber, professional weirdo, and lover of fantasy and self-pub. I act hyperactive on the internet, specifically YouTube, and then I tweet mainly about books, and that's pretty much my shtick. So yeah, that's me.
Maybe P.O., if you want to go in a circle.
I'm P.L. Stewart. I'm I'm the author of the John King Saga. I'm also a blogger with the wonderful Before We Go blog, of which Taylor, of course, is part of as well. I am part of the I'm part of the Ryan Cahill and Crystal Matar fan clubs. You can see some of their books there. Oop, got that turned around.
With the receipts.
With the receipts. Oh no, that's just the barcode on the back, right? Oh yeah, okay. So happy to be here.
Now I feel bad. My Ryan Cahill books are over there.
Run.
Hello, I'm Lana from Laura Lullabies. I am leisurely on BookTube. It's like my favorite hobby. And I'm also the creator of the Indie Accords, which kicks off next month, which is essentially just a month-long readathon of reading indie and self-pub books. And that is also my jam. So yeah. Off to you, Ryan.
Hey, sorry, I'm currently in the middle of tweeting all this stuff out and trying to make sure that people actually know, there's books. Yeah. Sorry, I get distracted easily. So essentially what I am is a magpie crossed with a squirrel. And my name is Ryan Cahill, or Cahill is actually what it is, but I say Cahill because nobody seems to be able to pronounce it. I'm Irish, currently living in New Zealand, and I am the author of the Bound and the Broken series, which is a lot of fun. So yay. Oh,
easily distracted, yet you write these big monsters.
Yeah, no, I'm still easily distracted, like incredibly easily distracted. It's a problem that I have.
I think those of us that are easily distracted are the ones that write the monsters, because we just get distracted by ideas and just put them all in the book.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
Ryan?
I'm currently writing book 3, and I don't even have enough fingers to tell you how many characters didn't exist before I started this book. So it's like, there's a cool... Oh, that would be cool. I'm going to write a whole thing on this. And then, I'll have to go. So, that's what happens.
Yeah. That's going to be me by the time I get to book 3.
Taylor kicked herself off.
The maximum is... You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
We have taken over.
No.
We've taken over Taylor's podcast. That's crazy.
While Taylor sorts that, what direction are we going in?
I think I'm next.
Yeah, I think Sarah's next.
So I'm Sarah. I'm one half of Fiction Fans podcast. I like whiskey and I like books. And yeah.
That sums up me as a person.
Yeah. Except you're not half of Fiction Fans. You're one unit of Ryan Cahill.
And 1 unit is all we need.
Oh no, I was being Sarah there. I was pretending to be. Yeah, it's okay. Most of us got it. Most of us.
I mean,
sure.
Just not Christelle. Just not Christelle.
You're not the wildly successful author.
Crystal? Yeah, I know. She's incredible, isn't she?
Yeah, Crystal.
I don't know.
Legacy of the Whitewash.
Oh yeah,
that.
I guess I should introduce myself. Yeah, that's me. I wrote that book. I would hold mine up, but I didn't make it available for me. So PL did it for me. Thank you. That's my. Oh, it's in Lana's background. That's cool. I'm very easily distracted as well. I wrote that. It was a SPIFBO finalist on the last cycle of SPIFBO. It came in second place at the end. And yeah, that's me. Also, I like whiskey and beer and books.
All right, I'm gonna. If Taylor's not come back, I'm gonna pop out so she can come in. She's the host, so I will pop out and see
that's
if
not how that works. Don't get so thin.
No, I will pop
We
out.
just hijacked her channel.
Have to do that.
Yeah,
I'll pop,
You can't even stop us.
I'm currently eating Cocoa Pops live on her channel, so
I'll pop out and see if we can fix it. So I'll be back. Hopefully, we can fix it.
See?
Yeah, the professional version
Another
of
silence.
StreamYard allows you to have more than 6 people.
Yeah.
You're muted.
You're also muted.
what you're saying is Taylor's an amateur. That's what you said. You said. But he said professional version, and the implication would be that the inverse is true. And that's not what I said. I'm gonna go back to
Eat
my
your
Cocoa
Cocoa
Puffs.
Puffs.
You're still
can't
muted,
hear
which is only hurting your point.
Ryan, I am getting strong Jacksepticeye vibes off of you.
What is Jacksepticeye?
Oh my gosh, yes, go watch Jacksepticeye.
I thought that was like a mispronunciation or something.
No,
Like,
Jack
It's
is...
like, I think you meant to say Jack Sparrow and stuttered.
Nope, Jacksepticeye he's like a 25 million gaming YouTuber. Sean McLaughlin. He's also Irish, I think.
Was that an Irish?
It's
accent?
Irish.
No, that was a
Oh,
terrible
God.
Irish accent. Don't.
Yeah, no, I know that. That's
Oh my gosh, we should do accents because we're all from different places. So, like, once we've
I
got
got
a
this.
few in us,
I got
we
this.
should
I got this. So New
definitely do
Zealand-
that. Give me your best
We
Kiwi
still can't
accent,
hear you,
Ryan.
Taylor. Yeah, Ryan, you should be able to do it by now.
6 on the dick. That's what I keep
I
saying.
believe-
So basically, the I's and E's in New Zealand, the I's and E's are like always mixed up. That's the accent. That's how you can tell the difference between an Australian and someone from New Zealand is the I's and E's. So like sex sounds like 6 and 6 sounds like sex. So it is not good when you have 6 people on the deck. And like Amy, my fiance, would walk into houses and be like, "Oh, it's a fabulous dick." And I'm like, "What?" And it's a wooden deck, that you chill out on.
No, she's just going to every house and announcing that she's going to get
I
married
have this.
to a
I have a sense
fabulous
of humor.
deck.
I have a sense of humor of a 16-year-old. Like,
There's a whole skit on Viva La Dirt League about the pronunciation of deck.
What you need to look at is there's an old ad,
Hi, Bill.
called for dicking oil,
Uh-oh. Who's missing?
and it's
Sarah?
No, we're
I
good.
know.
We got Sarah.
We're on here.
We got 7.
No. What? Oh, how come I can't see her?
PL is so confused.
The chaos that has ensued
No,
is going to live
Taylor,
on in
we still can't
infamy
hear you.
forever.
I can't see Sarah. I
Okay.
see her.
Okay, we're back. We're back. Yay.
Yay!
Oh, there she is.
All right.
It's the road
So-
beginning.
So as I was trying to say before when you couldn't hear me, Ryan. All right.
Ryan.
I've just been running
We're
havoc.
Oh, man.
We're all set.
That's
All
why
right.
we
I learned
invited
my
you.
lesson. That won't happen again. But thank you all for coming. Where did we get to in the introductions when I got kicked off my own channel? Where were we?
We have no
Did we
idea.
finish?
I
Okay.
think everybody's introduced. I
Okay,
introduced myself
great.
while you were gone, and
Also,
Okay,
Crystal,
wonderful.
I need to get your physical books. I've only got them on ebook.
yes. Oh, that's
Okay.
very kind of you to buy both versions. Food.
Now her physical book is amazing.
My favorite
It's a
book.
chonker.
It's
So
it's
I
a hefty.
Love.
Yeah.
I love.
Is that the hardcover?
Yes, it is.
The hardcover.
And
There's a
guess who-
hardcover. My
Guess
goodness.
who sent it to me?
Crystal.
She's a
Yeah.
sweetheart.
I
Yeah.
Crystal.
Oh my
sent him
God.
aside.
You didn't she?
Mm.
So this is a good segue to the next question I have for you guys. Where's the whiskey? And McKenna Reader's having some wine. So
Oh,
I
I
thought
should
since we're
get some
whiskey and
whiskey.
books, why don't we talk about what we're drinking and like what whiskey we like maybe?
Currently
So
drinking cocoa infused milk.
get out of here.
It's Spike. It's Spike. Don't believe him. It's spiked with something. I know it is.
If
Instead
any
milk,
cereal
use
would go good with
rum
whiskey, it's Cocoa Puffs.
It's an espresso cocotini.
That actually
just
sounds like
replace the
something
milk
that
with rum
exists. not gonna
chata.
lie.
Ooh, ranchada. Like it.
I will have a drink, but it is
Okay.
12 o'clock in the day, and I have a lot of writing to do, so I can't have that much.
That's how you
Isn't
get.
it-
That's how you get the writing done, Ryan.
I was
That's
gonna
how
say,
you get
isn't
it
it
done.
like right drunk?
That's
and
the
it's-
inspiration.
Here's the game
There's
we
a
can
point.
play is in book 3, we have to find out where Ryan was writing when he got absolutely pissed.
Man,
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
every
what
time
I'm
you talk
telling
to
you.
me-
there's a scene in book 1 that I wrote, and I was writing the scene, and I said, this is going to be a really emotional scene. I need to drink red wine. Okay? And I just got absolutely drunk on 2 bottles of red wine and stayed up to like 2 a.m. and wrote the scene, and I actually cried when I finished the scene. I went to bed, and I was like, it was beautiful.
I just love
At least you
seeing
can
your
blame the
reaction in
wine. I cry sober.
I know. I've seen it, Crystal. I've seen it.
It's Crystal.
Also, to a fictional escapist, yes, you can. It is 9 a.m. and here I am. So the things we do, you know,
He's Australian.
for
Cheers.
life.
And I can see Chris in the comments there also likes Cocoa Pops, so I gotta just throw that out there.
I'm behind on it, but that was rhetorical. I'm not sure what that reference was to because I was gone maybe when this comment came up, but
Oh, it's
hey,
Thiago.
Hey, Thiago.
hello.
That's my dude.
Writer to watch. Yeah.
Oh, the comments
Absolutely.
coming up here, I think are like solidly like 10 minutes behind.
Look, listen. I'm kidding you. All right, you know what,
I have
Sarah?
them open on YouTube.
Sarah, you're never gonna let me live this down. Muted. Thank you.
No, you're not.
It's Cocoa Puffs swimming in writer's tears.
There we go.
No, cheers. The man.
I thought you were
40.
going to say Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, that's
It's
me.
fixed, PL. You're good.
Yeah. Bit late there, but that's all good.
That it is.
Oh yeah, it is snowing tonight. That's for sure.
Okay.
I don't know what you're laughing at. There's a lot to laugh at here. I blocked you. I would never. Never.
Nothing happened.
Oh,
Right. This is like a delayed loop, like.
right. Hold on. I'm trying to. Okay, we're almost at the bottom.
We're just getting a live react
Cheers.
of everyone's comments on our
Oh,
Right.
jeez.
What I'm going to
Cocoa
do,
Puffs.
guys, is while we're scrolling through the
Puffs,
comments,
Well,
help me
okay.
decide. Okay? Am I drinking
Writer's
Writer's
tears.
Writer's tears.
Writer's tears. Love it.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay, so we got
What's
Red
What
underneath?
is
The
that?
night.
what's underneath?
Guardian Knight.
Rare breed. Rare breed.
Rare bead.
Drink rare breed.
Rare bead.
I have that right here.
Rare bead.
Yes.
I can't show
Cheers.
you. Can't show you mine. It's all the way in the kitchen, but yeah, great
So-
stuff.
Look at
Quick
this
question. Do you guys prefer rare breed or Kentucky Spirit?
Rare breed. Rare breed.
Air breed.
Really?
Rare breed.
Yeah.
See, I think rare breed's got a bigger, bolder flavor, but Kentucky Spirit is smooth.
Yeah, it is smooth. It is smooth. You
Yeah.
are right. It is very smooth.
I'm just a fan of like the like really subtle cherry notes that are in
Mhm.
the wild turkey products. I'm just a fan. I just like it.
I
So
love
I'm
wild
just a
turkey.
sucker for it.
Stand
This
by.
is what I
Will.
got going on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What is
You
that?
know,
I've never heard of
you
that.
know.
Puncher's Chance single barrel. This is 104 proof, something like that.
Nice.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's
wow.
delicious though.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm as prepared as Rob Stark was for the red wedding. I didn't have a glass.
At least you didn't get kicked off your own channel, all right? You're winning so far. So
I got a little Canadian wolf head here. This is great.
how
stuff.
is it?
It-
how is
it's
it,
awesome.
Leo?
love it.
I
It's
always
awesome.
want to
The-
know
the-
about the Canadian.
Crystal, the coffee one. I had it this afternoon. Oh, wow.
Nice.
I'm gonna have
When-
to see if we can get it shipped or something.
When I come up your way one day, I'll bring you a bottle.
That's very kind.
I'll bring
Or
you.
I'll come down to you.
Mhm. Go on a
So
little tour.
I have rare breed
Okay.
next to me, but that's not what I'm drinking. I'm currently drinking the Cheetah
Ah.
Oh,
can. So
I've got-
Japanese whiskey.
let's see. Which way am I going? There we go. I've
Writer's
got writer's tears. It's
Writer's
a
tears.
Mm,
I want to
Japanese-
try
that was
that.
actually
Japanese
personally,
cask
that was personally
finish.
bottled by
Nice.
Crystal 2 days ago.
It's true. It's true. I was revising a rough section. I had to go take a walk and fill my bottle of writer's tears. That was heavy.
Personal refills, they're fun.
Yeah,
That's a whiskey I want to try is writer's tears, even though I'm not a writer.
they're really nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're a blogger.
I
Hold
read
on.
tears
If
of
anybody
the writers.
drinks writer's tears, it's bloggers.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
it's true.
That book, oh my
We
God.
live off of our tears.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh,
So maybe we should let Sarah and Lana talk. So Sarah, what's up with you? You know?
I mean, I'm enjoying listening to all you guys chat. I'm drinking Port Charlotte, heavily peated, 10 years old. I'm big on the Isla whiskey.
nice.
Everything else generally tends to be too sweet for me, so not bourbon fan.
Ouch.
Sorry,
Ouch.
sorry, you're gonna get me out now. I know.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
We won't ban you right
It said
away.
whiskey, but we meant bourbon.
No, I'll
One
fight
thing-
for her. No,
One thing I really
I
like
will not
about
allow
this
it. If she goes, I go.
Taylor isn't afraid to tell me and Crystal to shut up, because I think when you have both of us on the same thing, you really need to be able to do that, because we just go.
Somebody needs to tell us to shut up. It's
Well,
true.
you know,
No, that
I'm
was
glad we got to know
genuinely a
each other in
positive
the
thing.
chat first. Lana, what about you?
Lena, you're muted.
You're muted, Lana.
You're muted.
Why did you tell her?
So I'm like just a hoe, and I don't have one. So I don't have a favorite. I'm just like put something in front of me, and I'll drink it. It is literally the Kiwi way.
Is it a branch chain of alcohols? Because I will consume it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Has it been fermented?
I am
distilled?
also.
You're a reviewer.
I'm with you, Lana. I'm also a
Why
whiskey
did I
slut.
read that in You're a Wizard, Harry? Like the same exact words in my head.
You're a wizard. Harry.
You're a writer, Andrew. That's not how that sounds, but.
Oh yeah.
That's why.
Why do you have a hat that matched that statement perfectly?
Well, it was
It was right.
Wow.
Literally, Pete from Ponderings of Pete sent this to me as a joke, and I kept it.
Matches the shirt, man. It you know your eye. It
Oh,
brings out
there.
your eye.
yeah, this actually seems far too planned. What is that?
The source of writer's tears. Yeah.
That one I know. That one is familiar.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Crystal. All right. Tears happened, and it's your fault. Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll take
the
it.
last person to make me cry on a podcast was Crystal. So yes.
Yeah.
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 Gosh,
And Taylor
Nothing wrong.
cried on her.
That is because
Was it
I
your
only
review,
review
Taylor?
books that I love.
Yep, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did cry.
Yeah, you were reading back the marbles, and watching you read it back and cry also made me cry. I had to put it down and take a walk again.
Just
that
a
scene was
cycle of
really
tears.
intense. Yeah,
It really,
gotta
really
refill the bottle
was.
somehow.
The
Never
only
wanna
reason I do
cry.
gush reviews anymore is because I don't like being hard on a book because somebody worked really hard on that, and B, I really only have time. I only have 4 slots to review a month, and so I'd rather talk about books that I love rather than books that I didn't enjoy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's where. Yeah,
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
it's kind of like one of those misconstrued things you see all the time. People are like, oh, every book isn't 4 or 5 stars. Like, no, but I only show you the ones that are 4 or 5
only
stars.
the
It's like,
books that I finish. Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
need to tell you the books I think are shit because I don't care if you read them. I want to show you the good ones. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
I don't go up to my
Yeah.
friends like when I'm sitting down. Oh, let me tell you about this book that I hated.
Yeah, right. You should hate read it too.
Sometimes if you,
If it's like for
it
a
happens.
reason.
I mean, sometimes
If it's
I will go into my friends and be like, I hate this book that I'm reading, but I won't say that online.
Yeah.
See, I DNF so fast. If I'm hating something, I will straight up just put it down and get rid of it.
I'm
That's
like a
probably-
small
Yeah, that's
child.
where
I'm
I'm at
really
now,
easily
too.
pleased.
I'm a
I
completionist.
kind of like everything.
You gotta finish it.
Yeah, I'm one of those completionists. I gotta finish it. I can't help it. It's that.
I got 300 books back here that are unread, and I just need to stop buying books.
Yeah.
No, it's
That's all
No,
I
don't.
choose,
No.
but no, you're good.
No.
You're good.
You're good. You're good, man. You're good.
Say I usually have that opinion, but if there's 300, that's a lot of fucking unread books.
Yeah. I've got like 30
look
right over
good?
there for my next month's haul.
Buying books that look good and reading books are two completely different hobbies, and I stand by that.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. That is
Yes, those are the words of my heart.
You just get those
Completely
3M
agree.
Yeah.
stickers, and you put the 3M stickers on the back of the books, and then you make a wallpaper out of them.
That's genius, especially with the sleeves that nobody uses, or
Oh,
the
yeah.
dust jackets.
I
Mylar wrap my
I have
dust
never
jackets.
in my life taken a dust jacket off a book and didn't even understand people ever did it until I went onto Twitter.
You're kidding me.
Oh no, seriously.
I
I was thinking, like, why would I?
Because you want to protect the dust jacket when you read it.
But the dust jacket
This
is
is-
there to protect the book.
Look,
So
this is what I
therefore,
put
it's
this out
catch
there.
22.
Dust jacket
So-
is there to
I
protect the book on the shelf.
What you're dealing with here is I have the Dragon Steel leather bound for the Way of Kings, and that's what I read. I don't read I read the special editions that I buy, and in fairness, they're probably the only ones I won't fold the pages on. I do dog-ear pages on paperbacks.
I'm sorry, Ryan, we can't be friends anymore.
I don't do it for the
No,
for the
I'm not gonna-
expensive books.
We witnessed the end of a friendship right there.
Look,
But reviewers, you guys tab books. We know for sure. And Lana has a whole system. Taylor, I know you tab books. Like, do you guys tab? Andrew, do you tab books? No. Okay. Sarah.
No.
Sarah,
I ain't
you
got
tab-
time for that.
If you watch my reviews, I'm not the guy who takes notes. I'm the guy who just is like, oh yeah, here's the crap that I remembered right off the top of my head when I sat down in front of a camera, and I'm just gonna word vomit it at you. That's
it's
my
a weird
thing.
one because if I order a special edition of a book, I will actually hold off on reading that book until I get the special edition to read the special edition, because like the Dragon Steel ones have like 50 amazing illustrations, and I love going through them and just being like, that's so cool, and then
Yeah. The thing
I
with
like
me is
as
if
you're
I have a
reading,
special
I can-
edition, it won't leave my house. So the special edition reading happens on my couch where it's safe and I can put it on a pillow and I don't have to get my fingerprints all over it, But if I'm reading in the wild, that's not leaving my house. So
No, I
I
can see
usually
that.
have more than one edition of something
Yeah.
because I can't, in
I
good
suppose that-
conscience, I won't do it.
I know that I'll never sell them. So like it's the valued appreciation means nothing to me. But like also I just wouldn't want to ruin it, so I probably wouldn't bring it out either.
Mhm.
I've
Some
got to
people
drop
write
off,
books.
guys, but this was
Those
lovely.
people should be drawn and quartered.
A lot of fun.
Oh,
Oh,
take care, see
bye.
you, Sarah.
Now she's gone. That was cute. Nice quickly.
Oh, bye.
I do write in books and I enjoy it.
Lana, you
Listen,
monster.
Yeah, that's
And you can actually see the evil in her eyes.
Yeah, that's. I love you, Lana. I love you, Lana. But that's sacrilegious. I love you, but that's sacrilegious. Can't.
If it's
I
a
love
school
you.
book, like study, that's okay. But if it's a book, I don't know. I don't know
Okay,
about
so I have a story as to
Yeah.
why I do this. I never used to. I thought it was sacrilegious and they should be burnt. But I became one of those people when I got handed I'm not religious at all, but I got given my grandmother's Bible and she had notes in it. And for me, it was just so special to have that part of her that
Now we can't
I
attack
was
you for
like,
it.
Oh, that.
right?
Because that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
So now I'm like, well, I want to because obviously I'm trying to amass a library here. I need like 700 more books and then I've got a library. So I'm like, when I write in my books and I tab and I highlight, I'm like, this is for my kids. If they're like, I like books, I wonder what my grandmother or my great grandmother loved. They can look and they can see the exact chapters and quotes and stuff that I loved and what I thought about them.
Oh, that's.
I'm kind of just
That's
imagining like
I'm
an oath.
amazing.
upset because
That's
you're
my
convincing
legacy.
me.
I'm kind of just
No,
imagining
no.
like
Yeah.
an oath that you left.
This library, I'm gonna get like 2 caskets, and like the library goes in 1 casket, and then I go in the other casket,
With you.
and then the books
Legacy
go underneath,
who?
and I go
What?
on top.
That's gonna be one heavy. You're gonna need like a bulldozer, not pallbearers. You're gonna need to like.
I want them to
at the cemetery.
I want their kneecaps to break.
The only thing is, I can kind of imagine that Lana's grandmother's notes were so much more wholesome than Lana's notes. I mean, you're just like, this bitch a hoe in like a character section or something.
That's so accurate.
And then your granddaughter would be like, Mama grandma is so cool.
Yeah,
No,
she'd
she'd probably be like, who
hearing
says no anymore?
Yeah, they'll like
Harry
remember me
Potter is
as
like,
this like
Harry's a whiny little bitch.
that's legit what it's going to be like. So like I feel like I'm gonna be like really nice and kind to my grandkids, but then like when they look through my books, they'll be like, Grandma, what the fuck?
It's like, headcanon, this guy is hot.
You had her.
no.
You had her
Which
exactly
one?
right, Ryan.
Tiago.
Tiago,
Oh no,
you
Tiago,
are only
no.
allowed to do that
No.
if you eat them after.
No.
You have to
You
rip
can't,
them
no.
out and then immediately eat them.
No.
Oh no, do you know what? Tiago's just being the Joker here. He's like the guy who goes into a place and mixes like the M&Ms and the Skittles into the same bowl.
And then just watches the chaos.
Whoever thought to do that is just diabolical.
Yes, Lana's video on annotation.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Randy.
Awesome.
I loved it too.
That video,
I'm gonna
Lana,
watch that.
fantastic.
I don't know why I did
Great.
a Joker clap. That was unacceptable.
It's the energy
Yeah.
here today. You
Have you
can't be
guys seen
held
what?
responsible.
Have you seen what Justin T. Call does with some of the books that he gives out to people? So he actually signs them in invisible ink.
Invisible.
Really?
So he signs them, but he leaves notes. So some special books he leaves like notes throughout the book, like his own little
Buddy.
extra notes
This
for
one?
the book in invisible ink. I don't know if he has
Yeah.
it in that one, but if he signed them, sometimes he'll do that.
I did
wow.
hear.
Yeah,
about
you need a
that.
black light.
Yeah.
I've
Wow,
seen
that's
him.
awesome.
Oh.
Seen him do it, but
That's awesome.
That's kind of brilliant.
Yeah, it is
No, it's
brilliant.
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just
I'm
signed them
way
with
too
black pen.
chaotic and clumsy and foolish.
Page chewing.
Yes.
Page chewing. Page
Yeah.
chewing. Love it, Tiago. Love it.
That Joker.
Touche.
Dad Joker.
Oh, you're
You're
done.
done. Are you?
He's done.
You don't
I'm
need to be.
set and
This is
I'm
wonderful.
What's
I'm
your
way
rate?
too chaotic and clumsy and just generally terrible with my belongings to have really fancy books that I read. So I have some signed copies of Anthony Ryan's books, and they are not to be touched because I spill shit on books and I drop books in mud puddles. I'm like what's his name from Charlie Brown?
Anyway, yeah, all of
Ooh,
it.
nice.
These are my signed Anthony
Pink-
Ryans.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got
Nice.
the
Nice.
Draconis Memoria.
Nice.
These are my. These are the only subterranean
Yeah, okay.
presses I own.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
I think Anthony Ryan's the first and only author that I've ever bought like ahead of time. I'm getting that book and I'm paying extra for the signature and an extra like $50 from shipping from UK.
Mhm.
That's my entire
And
life.
they're not
Living over
touched
this side of the
because
world.
I know.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Japan,
McCrea,
that's
LL's
it.
book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
LL's book. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a nice one.
I kind of ended up
Oh,
just
I've got
signing.
her. I've got that. I just told a lie. I have Lauren McRae's book signed, and I also paid for that to be
Liar,
shipped for the
Yeah,
UK.
That's beautiful.
this is the only one I've had specifically shipped from the UK.
Great book.
Yeah.
Lauren,
book.
Lauren is an amazing writer. That,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, she's a great book.
I
She's
don't know if we were talking about.
Great book.
I
What do you
was-
guys-
she's
I had it-
just
I
I'm
had it
reading
on my
the
She's
Rhoda
just
TBR
so
to read
lovely,
all of
too.
the previous SPFBO books, but then I got onto being a judge for this year, so I'm like, well, now I got to prioritize these books. So
yeah.
I haven't read all the
Pure
finalists.
fucking
There's a
chaos
lot
is
of
this
them.
conversation.
Her
What do you-
Rhoda, which she just re-released her first book as a second
Yeah.
edition, and it's
It is
just as
very
good
good.
as the Iron Crown.
Yeah, Iron Crown was awesome. Loved it. What are you guys reading right now?
I'm reading
What do
my
you guys
Rhoda.
I'm
and
reading
Spitfire
Spifo
8.
books.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've been in this weird
Me too,
thing
Lana.
since I've been writing, where I find it really, really hard to read. And if I listen to, I only read specifically to pick out how an author did something. So, like, I was
Yeah.
reading Will White's book because obviously phenomenon, so I want to find out what he did, and I read like military fiction to find out how specific things are done, or like I want to read I'm reading The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie because I want to find out how an author can center an entire book around a single battle and that sort of stuff. And then I read really slowly now, and I can't use audiobooks because for some reason I find I can't analyze audiobooks.
Yeah, it's just a different processing center in your brain.
Yeah.
I did a phase. I did a phase like that. Oh God, I don't even remember how long ago now. But when I wanted to get back into fantasy, I was like, okay, I'm going to reread all of my favorites and figure out exactly what it is that they're doing that I need to now do. But I ended up with a lot of other influences outside of fantasy. So I find I'm having trouble reading fantasy lately. I don't know. I just want to get in there and edit it and give them beta comments and stuff, which feels so rude because like it's a finished project and it's none of my business.
It's so funny because
once I've turned that on, I can't stop. So
I'm like the exact opposite. Like I'm reading going through the special edition of The Way of Kings now, and I'm the exact opposite. Like I'm looking at it going, oh my God, I would never be like this. Like this guy is, because all you have to do to understand how chaotically, incredibly amazing Brandon Sanderson's brain is outside of anything, outside of all of his critics and how he writes or anything like that, go on to like his wiki page, like the fandom like wiki page for Stormlight Archive, and just click through a few things and see how complex and interlinked everything is and how mind-blowing it is. I actually just sat there for like 5 minutes going, this is harder than school. Like he has more stuff on here. It's insane.
There's so many writers like that. I'm like right now I took the plunge and I'm reading Malazan. I took the plunge and I was peer pressure, Steve and those guys and AP Canavan and the group. I blame them. I said it on Twitter. I blame AP. I blame Steve. And I gotta say, like I thought I had somewhat of an intellect. There's moments here where I'm lost. I mean, not completely lost, but normally lost. But you know what? Guy's brilliant.
That will not hold your hand.
Brilliant writer, though. Absolutely friggin' brilliant. Brilliant.
So I'm going to be totally honest. I started trying to read. So I want to read the series because there's something where if a writer can write one book, okay, and then release the second book with entirely different cast of characters and it become an absolutely massive series, there's something magical there. But I read the first, 3 chapters, and I think sometimes there's a difference between, he's obviously an incredibly intelligent man, but like there's a difference between like intellectual writing, and sometimes it's just more convoluted than it needs to be. Like I'm reading it and I'm kind of going, man, this is like a homework assignment. And that's what I found. I think if I sit down for a while and really, really try, I'll be able to slog into it, but it seemed tough.
Yeah,
I remember reading that book.
Oh, all right, peace. Andrew, take out. Peace out.
Bye.
Peace out, Andrew, my friend.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you, man. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you all.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. See you later.
Oh, bye.
I read Gardens of the Moon
coming in and out. So.
way back before I left fantasy for my hiatus, and I remember I read the whole thing. And then when I was finished reading it, I couldn't remember any of it. And that's how I knew it was like this guy's, it was enjoyable while I was reading it. But when I was done, it was like none of that sank in for me. And I think this is not this series for me. Although I'll admit in those days, I was really unsatisfied with fantasy because I was trying to find a replacement for David Gemmell because he had just passed away. And so I bounced hard off of a lot of big names because they weren't David Gemmell. I feel like.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Do it. Go.
Oh, I was going to say, I kind of like, when I look at like the different writing styles, I kind of almost visualize a triangle in my head between what people call like workman-like prose, which I view as economical prose, or efficient prose. And then you have poetic prose, and then you have descriptive prose. And I think when you look at stuff like Gemmell and stuff, I think his is very economical and also
he's
onto the descriptive a little bit. Yeah, and I personally, that's my favorite type of writing. I love it because it really shows you the motions and the movements of things while being able to visualize. Whereas I think Erickson goes more to the poetic side of it.
Yeah.
And it's
I
not
think
as
that's why I
easy.
couldn't absorb it. I think that's why I couldn't absorb it. I think you're exactly right. Gemmell started as a journalist, and I always felt like you could see how it shaped his ability to say exactly as much as you needed to say, or he needed to say for you to understand, and absolutely not an extra word more, because he was just he was in that field for quite a number of years, I think, and it was just it was always like that, where you always had exactly enough information to continue with the story, and it's not very poetic, but the sentiment that came behind the characters, that's where his magic
I think you'll have I see authors like Gemmell, John Gwynne, and even Sanderson move towards that spectrum, and it's not like it's not like one or the other. It's a spectrum. I think they're more on that side.
There's like a Venn diagram almost.
Yeah, and you'll see almost when you come to a descriptive cross with poetic is when you go more to like Tolkien's kind of writing and Robert Jordan's kind of writing, and you can if you think of those three and you look at your favorite authors, you'll see them moving in that region. I find it easier to enjoy people who have a more economical prose.
Yeah, that's what I found when I was outside of fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Taylor. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Taylor, you were saying something?
We're gonna have to get
I was just agreeing. Oh, yeah, right. We have to pass it. Your turn, right? So, I was just saying that I've noticed that trend as well, and I think part of it is it makes it more accessible, because I know people who read Tolkien, for example, and they're like 3 pages of song breaks. Like, what is this shit? Like, I can't do this. So I think, and some people enjoy it, myself included. But I think that the more economical prose is making it more accessible, especially in a couple live streams I've been on recently. We've been talking about how in recent years fantasy has become, it's exploded out of its previous niche due to different adaptations, the Game of Thrones of the world and things like that. So I think more people are interested in it from other genres. So that type of writing is easier from someone from a different genre to maybe read. John Gwynne's book, the Shadow of the Gods Behind Me, that, bajillion 5 stars. But when I looked up 1-star reviews for a video that I did, reading 1-star reviews of my favorite books, the main complaint a lot of people had was the word thought cage. Thought cage, a lot of people really didn't like that, because it was this more modern economical writing, if we want to call it that, and then just the word thought cage, and they felt it was incongruous. So I found that really interesting.
But I felt he put that in there as part of the whole, he's making
it's Norse inspired. The word
brain, and it's Norse inspired, and I think he's trying to make this, Norse inspired, mirroring. Oh, PL's been influenced by who?
No, I think that's an old comment about Malazan. So.
Oh, Malazan, I have it, but I can't lie, I love the poetic prose. I love Jenny Wirtz, my favorite author. I know some people, it'll be tough for you to read that. Some of my favorite authors, Tessa Gratton, she basically writes Shakespearean type prose to a point, right? And that's my jam. And it's all about what you like, right? But sorry, we didn't get to what Lana. I thought Lana said she was reading Ryan's book. What? Oh, you are.
Yeah, how's Ryan's book, Lana?
Yeah, how is it?
It's shit now.
I knew it.
Take a turn and put in pages.
No, I'm immersively reading it. So I've got it on ebook, and I'm also reading it on the audio. And and I went on book binding, and maybe I was going to get the signed editions of the first 2, and then I was like, but when I I want I don't know what's wrong with me, but I want Ryan to actually write in it and be something like "fuck you" or something like that.
Yeah.
That could be arranged.
Wait, so you want to leave that? Wait, going back to our previous conversation, you want your grandkids to read that?
I want after I die, I want my family to be we didn't know anything about her, and I'll be boom.
You can put mystery.
Mic drop.
Sarah Chone does have great prose, yes.
Yeah.
I have
This
heard
one
about
does have
that. And
amazing prose.
Steve
Amazing prose.
single-handedly convinced
You'll
me
have
to
to-
read
you'll-
Seraphina's Lament. So
Seraphina's Lament is like, poo. Seraphina's
completely
Lament
convinced.
Lana,
is
you'll
Jump
have-
to the top of my TBR. Go ahead.
Lana, you'll have to convince a bunch of writers to send you books with like curse words in it, so that
Thank you, Lana.
your grandchildren will go on thinking that you had feuds with the entire writing community.
Be like, why did she have these books from people that hated her? Like, I don't understand.
But
Yeah.
I think I didn't like analyze those kind of 3 types of writing style. That's when I came. I didn't analyze it until when I started writing, and people were saying, "Oh, your book's very accessible," and I didn't know what that meant. I was like, "Are you saying I write like a child?" And I had to go and like, I had to go and look.
You're a
through some
little
different
man
things.
baby, and we're so proud of you.
Yeah. All right. And I had to go and look at a few different things, and I was like, "What does accessible mean in fiction? Like, what is that?" And that's when I went and looked through it. And I think when people talk about like book comparisons and how tough they can be, I think it's only because no one's book directly compared to another person's book for all reasons. So like when I would say it, like I keep getting my writing compared to like Gemmell and like John Gwynne and stuff, probably because massive influences. But just because of massive influences on me. So not that it's as good. But not that it's as good, but that it's in the same style. That it's not like this really
It's more
heavy
economical.
prose. Yeah, but then like they wouldn't always be a massive influence for maybe the world, which would be more like Tolkien and Robert Jordan. I think sometimes people forget to comp different parts of their book to different things. It's as opposed to like I am like this author. It would be
rather than looking
like this, or
rather than just looking at the plot that you've used and trying to find who it is, you also have to think about your voice and kind of how you world build and stuff. Yeah, that makes sense.
If you think about it, like even as a reader, if someone said to me, "My books are like Joe Abercrombie's," I go, "That's nice." But if someone said to me, I have a world based around Tolkien's style of building with characters like Joe Abercrombie and prose like this, and you go, "Oh shit, yeah." It's suddenly more like
I'm stoked to read this. This is one of my first books for Indie August, and I'm stoked to read this now.
Don't worry, it's nice and
props
small.
to you, PL, for sticking to your TBR for every month, because I know you have a theme for every month. Like
I'm a planner, Taylor, right? I'm a planner. I can't.
I thought I was until I met you. I was like, "Hey, shit!"
I can't see my TBR for a day.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I already told Ryan, his books are on the top of my TBR as well, because when we made this group, and I'm so happy with the group of people that we've gathered together. Like this is wonderful. But when Crystal was like, "Hey, I know someone else who might like whiskey," and then it happened to be Ryan, I was like, I gotta read those books then, because like I haven't read those yet.
And honestly, it's kind of it's funny in the fact that like. So say like I'm obviously living over in New Zealand now, and my partner's family are all from here. They're like, "Oh, I haven't read your book yet." And I was like, "No, you really don't have to." Like, as in, it's almost like people are like, "I have to read it like by obligation because I now know you." And I'm like, No. Please don't read it for that reason, because you'll only end up hating it.
Well, I mean, it was on my list. It just got bumped up. That's all.
Now that I know that you have Gemmell as an influence, then now I'm sold.
Hey, Ryan.
Only now. Even
hey, Ryan.
Up until then, she was like, "This guy's a dickhead. I am never reading the shit that he writes."
Okay, Ryan.
There's no way he's right.
Ryan, gotta give you some props, man, because that I saw the Library of Viking video. 40,000, dude. Props to you, man. Like that's congratulations, man.
That to me.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations, bro. No, I'm doing it.
I
did it,
Ryan, so that you can take the compliment.
I did it. English.
I did it. No, big bad dude.
No hablo inglés.
Dude, we love celebrating successes of our peeps, man. Like this is amazing. So
it's like no hablo inglés. Oh, hablo español? No, I don't speak Spanish.
Everybody go watch that video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And Ryan's dropping some wisdom about the self-publishing industry too. So.
But genuinely,
if you're trying to break into the industry, or you're trying to boost sales, or you're just trying to like get some traction, I believe in Ryan. I believe in Ryan Kyle.
Aw.
Go watch that video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
definitely
that
agree.
was a fun interview to do, and I think like when Johan asked me to do it, and he's like, "Oh, this is the title. I have to be successful in this." I was like, "I don't like that title because like that kind of implies that I know exactly what I'm doing." He's like, "Yeah, but it's a catchy title, and it does make sense." I was like,
That's YouTube
How
clickbait,
dare
honey.
you?
It's
You're a
not
humble
clickbait,
guy,
it's true.
Title.
You're a humble
It
guy,
isn't
but yeah.
clickbait. You're right. It's not, because clickbait is like misleading. So
Mhm.
I guess it's
exactly,
not,
and
because
that's kind of what he was saying.
you
He's
sold
like,
a lot of books.
he's like, the content of the interview is still good. I got all fuzzy for a second there, but
Too much whiskey already.
yeah. No, I didn't go fuzzy in my eyes. The camera.
I was gonna say that would be us.
You should.
Yeah, I was
Who
looking
was
at-
from. But I think
Shut up,
well,
everybody. Just
I'm really
enough
glad
so
that
he
you
doesn't
got.
know.
I'm really glad you got that official interview because I don't know what this is, but it sure is selling a professional interview. But
What are you talking about? We're 45 minutes in. It's all A+ content, ready to be informative.
Right?
When I retweeted it, I said it was going to be chaos because me and Ryan were together.
Yeah, I think
am I
myself
wrong?
and Crystal need a very structured environment.
It's true.
I'll provide
So
the
you can
structure.
destroy
I'll
it.
provide it.
Yeah.
So you know what walls to break down.
All right,
Taylor,
the last
Taylor,
time
what
we
are
were all
you
together,
reading?
Oh, all right, PM. Thank you.
We didn't get to you.
I am currently reading a Spiffbo book, so I'll be hush hush about that right now.
Yes,
But
understood.
I'm that's my physical read, but my audio read is Within the Sanctuary of Wings. It's the 6th book in the Memoirs of Lady Trent series. So I don't know if anyone here has read that.
I've heard of it.
I would like to read it. I keep almost buying it and then not for some reason. You know how it is.
Same.
Cool story,
But
bro.
I gotta
again.
shut up, Brian.
Ryan.
Have another drink.
But
I like
I would highly recommend it. But I think what's important is to go into it with the right expectations. So it has dragons on the cover. It's
Yes!
fantasy. Yes,
Sorry.
100%. That's how we all feel inside, Ryan. Let it out. But
it's okay, honey.
The thing is, it's not what you would expect for dragon fantasy. Like it is called a natural history of dragons for a reason. Yeah.
That's why.
Go ahead, Crystal.
That's why I was drawn to it, because it did seem to me like it was offering something a little bit more kind of like Victorian, and
yes.
I don't even know the words to say, but it's like there's a vibe there where it's like
it looks good.
It's with words on like the paper. I think probably.
Yeah,
is that what they're called?
Well, actually,
it has
in
a
my
right
case,
dash of A
words
with just the
being
right amount of
spoken,
B.
Lana's losing.
But I will say, you are right about the vibe. So it's like Pride and Prejudice meets fantasy. So
fucking
the
sold.
author.
Are we allowed to swear?
So did the dragons
wear
like velvet?
It's too late, Crystal. It's too late.
Who do you think I am? I'm not monetized. Who do you think I am?
Excellent.
Dragons wear like velvet coats with like white frilly collars and cuffs and stuff.
Waistcoat? No, that's an earlier period. It's the waistcoat with the cuffs and the collar buttoned on.
That sounds good.
This is literally my time period, Ryan. Get out.
My ignorance on dragon-based attire in Renaissance England.
In the Victorian era. No, not Renaissance. That's the point. You're not listening.
Sounds like
anyway.
You just shook PL down. You're like,
no.
Shut you down.
It's a really good series, and I think I would highly recommend people on the fence to actually go for it, because I was also on the fence before. My friend Maria over on T-Books Magic, go follow her if you haven't, but she was hosting a read-along with a couple other booktubers, and I was like, this is the universe telling me this is the time. So I'm on the 6th book, and the first book is very much an introduction to the style. If you like the style of the first book, then you're going to love the later ones, because there's lots of world building. It expands. It follows Lady Trent, who is interested in dragons, and studying dragons. But in the time that she's born, Victorian times, women should not be into dragons. That's a man's world.
Yeah.
So the first book talks
Gatekeeping.
about her kind of wedging herself into that world and finding her way in. And then after that, it really expands, and she goes on, travels all over the world, sees different types of dragons. And there's lots of themes of like colonialism, politics, motherhood. So
Sold.
I was really surprised
Sold.
with them. Yeah.
Sold.
Yeah.
The audiobooks are fire. There's the I can't remember the narrator's name right now, but she's incredible. So if you don't want to go physical, if you have like Scribd or something, they're on Scribd.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
I'm gonna have to
Convince
check
me.
out the audiobook.
Convince me.
Yeah, PL, we should
Yeah.
try to buddy read or something.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun. Well, but I have to put I have to wait obviously because it's fifth flow.
Yeah.
But I have to put Miss Percy's. I have to put Percy Queen Bee's book up before. Oh, I'm FOMO now. Don't do
Oh my
that.
gosh,
So-
Hold on.
People have all of the
Hold on.
receipts.
Hold on.
Oh.
PL, did you
Yeah.
just pronounce Quimby's name as Queen Bee?
Oh, did I say that? Sorry, Queen Bee.
Maybe
Did I
she
say
is the
that?
queen bee, all right?
That's a bit too much.
Yes,
No, but it's because it's so appropriate that it's funny.
she absolutely is the queen bee. We
I
bow to
have,
her.
I have to
I'm
read
actually
that.
crying.
The series that I was talking about, Epic, is okay. The series
Oh,
that I
so
was talking about was the Memoirs of Lady Trent, and the first book is called A Natural History of Dragons. So
Yeah,
That sounds right up my alley. I'm sold. Yeah. If you want to do a buddy read, Crystal.
Yeah,
I'm down.
PL.
down.
We'll organize later when you've got, because I've got Spiffbo reads too. So then, but then when we have a break, we'll sort it out, and then we can
Totally
write up
down.
a review for
Totally down.
done.
Ryan, did you share my link in your Discord? My heart. My heart. Thank you. Didn't even know that.
We love
Appreciate
you.
that. Oh.
Hashtag OMG.
Do you like how I take
So,
credit for it, even though I had nothing to do with it?
Yeah.
yeah, I help people when I can. That's Crystal right now.
Yeah, I helped them.
I feel like Crystal can't do the same hair flick you can, but
Yeah, my
No,
hair used
it's-
to be the same exact length as Crystal's, and that's the reason I'm doing the hair flip, because I haven't been able to do it for probably 6 to 7 years.
years.
I'm obsessed with it now. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
well,
Can't lie. I love the hair.
Back.
Can't lie. I love
Thank
the
you.
hair. I love the hair. I love Crystal's hair.
Thank
Is
you.
like
Yeah, thank you.
No,
I was
it's
just about to ask
appropriately
Lana what
chaotic
she was
for.
reading, but she looks.
Yeah, we almost have the same hairstyle, Ryan.
I know.
You're gonna have to bleach
Yours is
with me.
cooler. I
No,
did.
you're
Fun
gonna-
fact, I
You
did
with the
bleach my
dark
hair,
eyebrows.
and I dyed it
Oh.
completely pink. Yeah. So fun fact.
That's a
Epic. Got
man
it.
comfortable with himself, and I like that.
The only problem was the place that I went to get it done, they kind of rushed it. So after about a month and a half, it was mostly
Oh,
out.
no.
So,
When you go for bleach the first time, you got to be careful, man. Like
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I got really lucky. She did a really good job, but I've literally never bleached my hair before, so
Yeah.
I
Both
got
my parents
lucky.
are hairdressers, so naturally I went somewhere else and got it done in the middle of university, and they were like, "What the fuck did you do to yourself?" But how's book
How's
3
book
coming
3
along?
coming
coming
along,
along,
Ryan?
Ryan?
Well,
Ryan,
it's coming
let's talk
along,
about
it's coming along
business or
well now. But obviously this is
Yeah,
interrupting it. Thanks, guys. Okay.
Blame us. Yeah.
we love you.
Blame us.
No, book 3 is coming along well. You just gotta have like a chart to say how much crazy shit can I introduce without it getting way too long. So that's the constant battle that I have. at the minute.
Are you done at 3, or is it going to go on a little bit
Oh no,
further?
it's meant to go on to about 5.
Nice.
Five,
I
and then-
love long series.
I initially planned to have a novella in between each book, and I will, but they might be written later because I kind of want to get through the main series because it
Through
gets
the main
delayed. Like the
series.
third book would be done if I didn't write the previous novella. So it's just.
But you kind of got to give yourself space to because you're into some really long books now. Like you kind of need the palate cleanser
creatively
in
and
between.
mental health, yes, you do. Business wise,
Yeah.
not always.
And at least
feasible.
if you're putting out novellas, it's more content instead of waiting. Like, do you find that your
timing?
novellas sell?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Crystal.
Do you
Timing
Yeah.
is just as crazy though, because we PL
Yeah.
and I and Lana, actually, all three of us just did a interview with Zamil Akhtar last night about his excuse me, novella Death Rider, and he was
Awesome.
saying how for him mentally he needed like that was really good for him to be able to step out and write a self-contained story that he didn't have to think about plot A, B, C, D, E, F. He could just write a self-contained story.
It's
a couple
actually
Easter eggs.
it's interesting
Interesting.
because when I stepped out to write this novella, I actually found it kind of harmed me when I was coming back into book 3, because I have, like, I would say now probably 14 or 15 point of view characters in this one. It'd be more contained. There's a group of maybe 6 or 7 who would be the more core POVs, but I do get POVs from other characters on a semi-regular basis. And I got used to jumping in and out of these headspaces. And like, I was talking to DW Ross the other day, we were just having a chat, like, and I was explaining how it could get a bit crazy because he reads the books and he just wanted to chat to me about stuff, and we're trying to not to spoil stuff. And I was saying how I was asking him questions, like, because I was trying to work stuff out in my head. I was like, oh, what if I did this? He's like, oh, you could do this. I was like, yeah, but if that happens, then this changes for this character, this character, this character, and this character. And then what he says to this character changes this character and this character. And it's fucking mind melting. But when I jumped out into The Exile, it's a singular POV focus, really deep dive, intense character study. And I found it was difficult to come out of that.
I'm there.
Like,
I'm there.
Oh, I loved it. I loved writing
I'm there.
But it's very difficult to come out of that focused back into the expanded thing. It's a bit more almost anxiety inducing because it was harder
to switch tracks after taking the break.
Yeah, it was easier for me to go into the character study, but it was a lot harder to come out of the character study.
I gotta say, I don't know how you felt, right? I felt like I'm writing my book 3 now. It is finally fun. I'm not saying it wasn't fun writing the previous 2 books, but now I'm having fun because that book 2 pressure I talked about like with Crystal, like we talked about it a lot, Crystal, like all our little groups, like book 2 was like, oh my god.
There's something about the second book that's like extra torture. That's where I'm at now. And I like
book 2 like that crushed me.
I spent probably 8 months writing words that I can't use because I don't know, I kind of buckled under the pressure and went off in the wrong direction. And like I've been wondering, like I should have just taken the break. I should have just stopped and done something else while I was kind of feeling exhausted. But then now listening to you say that it didn't work, maybe it's better that I just stuck to it, even though
I think like every single person is different. Like even for instance, PL saying now he's finally enjoying it, whereas writing book 3 for the first time since I've started writing is the first time I haven't enjoyed part of it. So I've never. No, I do. I still love writing, and like when I sit on the couch, I'm still obsessed about the story. I'm still passionate about the series, and I still love it. And I sit on the couch, and I'm meant to be. Amy is sitting there talking about wedding stuff, where we're going to go on a honeymoon, and I'm just sitting there and there's dragons in my head and shit. And
I don't know if you want to put that like actually out here for posterity.
I tell her, edit that part out.
And we think for a second,
we are the same person.
But you think for a second that I hold back anything? This comes out all day. She's well aware. Like there's different times when she's almost sat there and be like, "You're thinking about dragons, aren't you?" I'm like.
Yeah, Kareem can tell when I'm writing in my head. Like, I guess I have certain mannerisms of like he'll be like talking to me. No, I don't know what my tell is, but like he can tell when I'm too far in my head, and he'll just like he'll just be like you haven't listened to anything I said, have you? And I was like, huh, what?
Amy,
it's so funny to hear you guys say that because from a reader, obviously we have a physical tell and we're holding a book, but Hayato also, if I'm holding a book, he will do experiments. Well, he'll talk to me when I'm reading a book and see what I listen to. And every once in a while, I'll hear a word that like, whiskey or something like that. I'm like, and he's like, I've been talking about right? Like, I'm like, no.
I guess the awesome part about Deb is because Deb is like my business manager, so we talk about the book stuff so much, and like it's which is kind of cool. But we always go, okay, time out. We're gonna talk about something else.
Real life.
It's like work.
For a second.
Yeah, it's like work too. We do those timeouts. Like, okay, no more work. We're gonna talk. Like. Yeah.
That's smart.
Yes,
I bet Kareem wishes
That's
he
it
could
exactly.
put me in timeouts.
If Amy didn't understand, like I had to leave like a dedication. My dedication in like my first book, I had like one to like my parents and friends and stuff, and it was just to Amy, just like to Amy, thank you for not killing me. So, like that's
now
true.
I'm curious what I put for, because I was already writing when I met him, and I sent him like an early novel of back when I was still writing in crime fiction.
Was that your pickup line?
And what was that? My
Here's
what?
A novel. Rawr.
Yeah,
you sent him a novel when you started dating. It's like, oh, this is what I do. Yeah.
It worked because he was talking about how much he admires artists.
Okay, I'm so sorry, Crystal, but I haven't heard the word "rar" said out loud.
You have to do it with a claw.
Ryan makes it sexy.
I kind of somehow reverse winked there. I had my eyes closed already, rared, and then opened my eye. I don't know what happened.
You're smooth. It's a good thing you're already locked down.
Yeah. Seriously. All that happens is I fucking stumbled into this. Like,
yeah, it was my pickup line. He was talking about how much he admires artists, and I said, well, I write books, and I sent him one, and then I asked him for feedback on I guess I was in the process of writing the second one, and we spent more and more time together, and now we're married. So yeah, he knows who we married.
It worked. Honestly, it worked.
That's an intense
it worked.
You get the IP.
He knows he's my second husband.
Well, Tashui's the first one.
Tashui's my first husband.
But it'd be interesting.
I've been writing about him since I was.
When you do finish book 2 and you go into book 3 to see, because like my mindset was like, book 2 is pivotal because someone doesn't like book 1, or someone likes book 1 and they don't like book 2, they're usually gone from the series.
Yeah.
If they like book 1 and like book 2, they're a bit more tolerant with book 3. Okay, but like I'm still sitting there being like fuck like every day.
Seriously, I don't write. I'm just saying this. I haven't read any of your books, but I'm just saying I keep an eye track on most of the authors, especially ones that are prominent. Everybody said that your writing is going upwards, like so.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. You're tracking
even
up.
That, so when you think even that is like,
although that is more pressure, isn't it?
It's such intense pressure in that, like, because it's great though. It's fun. It's amazing. It's so nice to see. But then it's even more. You're going, okay, so
No, I get it. Yeah,
novella's better than the first book. The second book's better than the novella. The next novella has better writing than the second book, and you're like, okay, so I just kind of have to keep going that way. And how do I do that?
You will.
It's interesting. Like,
you will.
You will. It's natural.
Trust me. I felt the same way. I was like, people were like going crazy over the second book. They said the first one was great, but the second book's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, well,
yeah, it's just, it's learning to trust yourself, and it's funny. The more we trust ourselves, the more we doubt. Yes. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The more you trust yourself as a writer, the more you also doubt yourself, where it's like, this is shit and I'm shit. But it's because you're aware of your own skills growing, and you're capable, and you are on that trajectory. And then, but then there's also the doubt never goes away, or I guess it does for some people. But
because I don't think you find your voice. I don't think you find your voice till around book 2.
Yeah.
I don't think you find like what Ryan Cahill's voice or Crystal Batar's voice or Peele's voice. It takes time, right? Yeah. And then you get comfortable in your writing. Not comfortable, complacent, but comfortable. Like, this is me. This is how I write. This way, and then your readers get to be like,
know your own skin a bit. Yeah.
It's quite interesting. I know, like, something that you guys wouldn't see, Lana and Taylor, like from a reader perspective, from a writer perspective. I know, like when I do like my beta reads and I have people come in and do beta reading stuff. Every once in a while, I get stuff that really sticks with me. So there's one beta reader, Mark, and he's lovely. He's so harsh with me, but he's open with it at the start. He's like, "This is how I want to do this. If you don't want me a team, that's fine." And I was like, "Yeah, I want you." And like anything, some of the comments make no sense, and some of them are absolute gold. And there was one thing that he said when there was a scene in the second book, and he was like, "There's one thing that you do really, really, really well is instill a sense of wonder in a scene." and it's like, the way you describe things, and a lot of his comments like that. Then when I went to rewrite stuff, I kind of went, you know what? Yeah, no, I think you're really right. And it's then in the revision where
double down.
I'm going to put that stamp on it. I was
Yeah.
like, this scene needs more of this. Like, I know I'm good at this. I'm going to make this more about this. And so it's really interesting how that kind of feedback can help change the way you look at things.
Yeah, but it's so funny how, like, I swear, like, as a writer, your readers are going to tell you what you're good at. Like, I didn't think, for example, I thought my battle scenes were okay. I thought they were decent. I thought, okay, but
I thought you said bowel scenes. How many bowel scenes do you have?
No.
Just a whole genre. Like these particular ones.
No, battle scenes.
Dark.
Battle scenes. And then so I thought, no, it would be my world building that people thought, okay. But then I kept getting these comments, oh my gosh, your battle scenes are amazing. And I'm like, really? I didn't think they're all that. I didn't do that great. But then you start, it's like, again, the readers tell you what you're good at, right? So you kind of have to,
I definitely agree with
you don't have that perspective. You're just kind of vibing with.
Yeah. If you read one book, a couple hundred pages and enjoy it, you're already getting the author's voice. So it's interesting, to hear you guys talk about it, because I would agree with Chris here, where maybe you guys feel like you haven't come to your full potential, maybe the potential of your voice. But as a reader, it's really easy to, not easy, but you can pick it out whether a book is for you or not. So you are putting, yourself into a book from the very beginning, from the reader's perspective.
I think for me, what I'll have sometimes is when I'm writing, I have the constant battle between where I want a character to go and what choices that character would logically make. And I don't know, for instance, if you've watched the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, okay? Now this isn't a spoiler at all, and you don't have to have watched it to get it, right? But there's a scene where a character is trying to hide another character, and they're walking out, and it's like, if they're in a situation, you're going, this is impossible. How the fuck are they going to get out of here? And you think there's going to be some logical, complex solution to it. And the character just fucking walks out with the smaller character underneath a cloak, and you can very clear there's 4 feet, and it's clearly ridiculous. And I actually quite like the series, but just this point was just weird for me. And I'm like, genuinely, instead of coming up with a reasonable, logical, complex solution to the problem, they just said, I'm going to put the character under a trench coat and walk and just have no one notice them. And I think when I'm doing it, so my point with this is that that's a series that I otherwise am enjoying. But that moment really pulled me out. And I think when I'm writing now, I have the constant, like I said, that battle between what a character would logically do and where I want that character to go. So sometimes when I'm writing, I'll go, I really want this character to have X trait and kind of end up here, and that's their arc. But then the situation I've put them in, I can't see a logical way for that to happen. I think when you take, and it's easy for people to do when you're writing, even if you like a writer's style, if that writer starts making illogical choices with characters, like for instance, one of the big things for me is the Last Kingdom.
Yep, love it.
Thread. So I love it. Okay, but the issue that I've had is that in the series in particular, the lead character makes a lot of very, very, very illogical choices that don't go with his character, but they are very clearly what happened is the writer went, I need this story to keep going. So this character needs to make a completely out of character, illogical choice. And you can very much see that the decision was made to suit the plot and not what the character would or should do. And I think, and I love that series, but despite that, I kept watching it because like, it's just cool, but it really got to me, and I've chatted to a few people about it. I think like Patrick as well. And we're on the same opinion. Is like some of the shit that happens, you're like, I love the series, but like, why would any human being make that choice?
But you'll see a lot of it's contrived for the series too. Like I read the books. I'm a huge Bernard Cornwell fan. I have all the series books. And the shows that obviously a TV adaptation, Netflix, it's not. Some of those decisions, I totally agree. Youth doesn't make those same decisions in the books, right? So
Now, Patrick told me that after reading all the books, he wished he'd never started them because a lot of the same things happened. But it depends, and he still loves them. But like when you get that kind of similar thing, but I get what you mean with the books. But I think that's a fear that I'll have all the time. Is that like even if like someone likes your style from reading all your stuff, if the characters that they love start making choices, like the thing
choices that don't make sense to them.
Like the character deaths on favorite characters, the only way they can work is if the character died in a way that was true to who they were. So like you'll see stuff where like
you got to build that framework. Like you have to know what you're building. Yeah. And know what kind of contracts you're making with the reader. That's something that what's his name? Dan Brown talks about, where you're making contracts where it's like they don't know what's going to happen, but they can feel a promise is being made, and you have to be aware of those promises as you go along, because you have to fulfill enough of them that they feel that things are making sense. Yeah,
it's like Chekhov's.
Although, like Taylor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember seeing Taylor. Was it Sarah J. Maas that you really liked the first one, and then the second one just like killed it for you? And that like that makes me really curious, because generally
our brains are on the same wavelength, because that's exactly where my mind went.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
So the first book, 5 stars.
The promises didn't feel.
Yeah. Sarah J. Maas is she writes what she writes, and what she's really, really good at is, well, of course, smut, but also the characters. That's why you care about the smut scenes. That's why you care, because you care about the characters. And that's why.
Hold on. You're telling me you wouldn't read those smut scenes if you didn't like the characters?
I'm not saying I wouldn't read them. I'm just saying that they wouldn't be able to be an 800-page book with those based on those. But there's a reason.
The thing about smut, though, is you do have to care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Is that the difference between smut and porn?
No.
You have to care.
Yeah, you have to want the characters to get to the O.
No, because you can care there too.
Yeah, they're definitely different.
There's character growth in smut.
I'm gonna
not just
character growth, also everything.
Personality.
We say there's no character growth in porn. Like, what do you say?
No character growth in porn. It's going to end pretty quickly.
Ryan, you cried earlier. I'm crying
growth,
now.
But there's also character growth in smut.
Okay, hold on.
What happens when you put me and Ryan together?
Porn?
Can I finish? Let me finish my thought.
She doesn't love him?
Yeah.
So.
My goal here is to inadvertently kill Lana through laughter.
Can't get my words out.
It's working. I can see her.
Andrew just said, "What have I missed?" Andrew, look,
you don't want to know.
You don't want to know, Andrew.
You don't want to know.
You know what you missed in the group chat, Andrew? It's along the same lines. All right. So, yes, Sarah J. Maas is good at writing
First book, 5 stars.
Character-based smut, 5 stars, amazing. But the second book, like what I said in my review, is that I feel like she forgot what she's good at. It's completely good to have an author try new things, explore new things in their books, and I think she's trying to do that with like this series is very. It feels like it's going to be her Stormlight Archive. So I don't want to do any spoilers, but we'll just categorize it that way.
This is the series that everybody's seen like for the last year or so on Instagram everywhere. I don't know the name.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's the Crescent
The covers
City
are gorgeous.
Yes,
aren't they? They're stunning. They're stunning.
Yeah, they're amazing.
But the second book, I feel like she forgot her core and why people read it, and she was trying to yes.
Is she the one who had the book box with the dick-shaped soap?
Was that her? I feel like
I'm pretty sure that was her.
I think it might have been her. Yep, the dick soap thing. Yeah.
Dick soap.
Okay, people are looking very confused. So there was a book box that had a romance,
that was an older
romance book in it. It might have been Sarah J. Maas.
An older series.
It had dick-shaped soap in it.
Okay.
And people were like, why do I have a dildo in my book box? Like, was what people were thinking.
Hashtag Soapgate.
It was soap.
Yeah.
All right. So I think what happened was a third-party company made this box, right? And it's marketed at young adults.
It was a third party.
Yeah. So it's marketed at young adults and like teens usually, and also obviously up as well, because young adults not just for teens. But I think that there was like posters with like basically naked men covering their balls and dick-shaped soap and like literally they came out and were like, this was not us. We do not like.
This is not endorsed by Sarah J. Maas.
Literally,
right,
do
like,
not use the soap on yourself.
I don't think it was her because.
I could be wrong.
I don't think it was her because I think the reason people were so upset was because it was not specifically books that had explicit content, and so like it seemed like a
Right.
hard turn,
I'm
but
like
I don't know for
90%
sure.
it was a book box for her.
Oh no, I'm totally wrong. It was her. A court of thorn and roses. I should have just
The
asked
victory
Carisha.
on
I
your
bet she
face.
would have known.
Whoa.
Chris and Broadbent would have known.
Dictionary
Yeah.
soap for a book.
You're
of
right, Ryan.
thorns.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
that scandal happened. But
Let's just say this YouTube is not YA. So yeah.
yeah, no, not even a little bit. It's okay. It's okay.
No.
My channel
Well,
was
I
never
mean,
meant to do
don't
that
put
anyway.
soap there, friends. That is something that needs to be said. Don't.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to draw the line into educational vaginal cleaning. Okay? That's where I'm drawing the line. Okay? I think
this has gone downhill rather quick. This is really going downhill rather
I'm
quickly.
trying to move on to the book.
That's what I'm
This is
saying.
descended really
Clear line
quickly.
in the sand here. Okay?
This
This
is
podcast have a thing called can of worms. Just say can of worms, and the topic has to be dropped. This is a can of worms.
this is descended rather quickly.
You opened it, Ryan.
I just
What is Brian
really
get
got
the
downhill.
credit?
yes.
Okay.
We've gone downhill.
So anyway,
I demand a
development.
recount.
Okay. So the second book, everyone's laughing, including myself. Let me
Please tell us more about this book.
Yeah, I will. I shall. All right. So the second book, I feel like she forgot that people read for that connection, and so I think she tried. Not tried. I don't want to. I think her goal was political, like machinations, making it more of a detailed plot, and that's okay to try. But she didn't have her character base to fall on. So the characters that we'd come to love were not as well developed, as easy to love as they were before. So when the plot, because I have to say personally for me, I don't think it's her strong suit because the plot made literally zero sense to me. So when you have, what you're trying to do does fall through. Yeah, when you're trying to do does fall through, and then you're left with
come from?
Just that. Yeah, exact. No, but like it is that level for me. So when that fell through and it didn't have the characters as a base to fall on, the whole thing collapsed. So I think when you guys talk about taking feedback seriously about what you're good at, please do that, because I think you guys are completely on the wrong track, the right track with that. Because
Thanks.
Said,
Thanks.
I wonder how Ryan's sense of humor spills into his book. You have to see. Basically,
I think people are going to be disappointed, aren't they?
No. So I can't go that bad with a lot of stuff, but I have a character. I have a character called Belina, and it's specifically she comes into the fore really in the exile. But I use her as like a surrogate humor, and I use her as like a break the fourth wall character. So she's the character when they're going into this dungeon at night. She's like, guys, this is a really fucking bad idea. Like nothing good happens at night in a dungeon. It doesn't happen. A few things. Like, and she'll have
depends on the kind of dungeon, right?
She has that kind of humor. Like when they walk up to a big castle and it's like, oh, it's bigger than I expected. She's like, oh, that's a good thing, isn't it? And that humor isn't usually in the books all the time, but her character, but you have the other characters recognize it too. They're like, shut the fuck up, Belina. Like, and it's a kind of,
you're aware of other people's reaction to you in the world. I love it.
Yeah, and
so
I wanted to build it in, and her whole thing is that like when they go down and they're in like in a horror movie, when you don't split up in a horror movie, and they go down, and, okay, guys, we'll split up the tunnels, we do it quicker. And she's like, we will all die. We'll just all die. That's not a good thing. And like, no, we're going this way. Like, and it's that kind of like I wanted to put that character in for a while, but you have to kind of, for me in fantasy. In certain types of fantasy, you have to kind of work them in so they feel in the world, and then you can bring them out of the world. So I think a bit more of that humor is going to
it's a light touch. It's so easy to overdo something like that.
Yeah, and that's why it's just the one character. And a few other ones have like a funny sense of humor. They have a funny sense of humor, but like if you work it into one character really well, And that for me, like she's probably like the most fun character. And I've gotten like literally almost every email I've gotten from ARC readers after releasing that book was about her. So it went down really well.
The fool.
Yes,
right?
they do.
Yeah, speak the truth.
Yeah.
But
except she's a badass motherfucker.
But you have to do the way it works for you. Like I don't think I'm naturally a funny guy, but my character's really snarky and he's funny. And
disagree.
He's funny and he's very snarky, but mean funny. So his humor is like he just cuts up everybody, right? So
I totally get it. Like you look at like even Sanderson stuff. Like one of the things he's like slashed for a lot is that like he thinks he's really funny. And his humor is very kind of like Marmite in books. Yeah. Like half people go, was that meant to be a joke? Or
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm afraid of that. I'm always afraid that I cannot write humor.
I
disagree
with that.
Crystal, you're funny though. But Crystal, you're funny though. Like I don't think there was like a ton of humor.
All of us are funny.
Crystal, you have to have like a wrong hole joke or something in the book. It has to be like that's your sense of humor. I can imagine that. But like no.
There's a lot.
No one's saying that in Crystal's book. No one's saying in Crystal's book. No one's saying no.
Well, that's a lie. Your lie detector just went off.
Oh no.
That is my smoke detector.
You've got a smoke alarm.
Oh no.
I think it just.
This conversation's on fire. That's why.
Yeah. No, I think it's just a test.
Yeah, Lana heard me.
What's that?
I said this conversation's on fire. Okay.
Oh,
Dad jokes all day, every day.
Please no.
I love it. We're gonna go into this later. If you're gonna come for my dad jokes,
you know the two different senses of humor there, right? Is you go, this conversation's on fire, and then I said we don't have the public liability insurance for PL to die on live stream. Like, there's the two different types of humor. Like
we balance.
Oh man, but it is funny because I really want to like write like a standalone. Like the Black Tongue Thief with like real snarky kind of just black, dark, dry, witty humor. I can't wait to do that. Cannot wait to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because then I can blame my characters and not me.
Yeah.
So.
I did want to ask you guys. So I had prepared a couple little prompts for when we were all together, but then I got kicked off and people had to leave. But I do have a couple questions. I'm just curious for the different people that are on this.
And then we have authors. On fire and...
that is still.
And now PL's house
the
is on fire. We don't
survivors.
know what's going on. So, but I do have.
Is that PL's house?
We love you, PL. We hope you're
flashing
okay.
smoke alarm in their house.
I don't know.
It's just fancy.
That's so high tech. Mine's just like, get the fuck out.
Yeah, or don't replace the batteries. But
I hope it actually says that, Ryan.
I've unplugged all of mine. I'm useless.
So I have, since we have a section of authors and a section of like content creators right now, just me and Lana, but I had questions specifically for each section. So I'll wait for PL to come back for the author question. But I had a booktuber or podcaster question for while Sarah was here, which is what episode or video are you most proud of this year? Because I feel like I wanted to create like a spotlight
Sarah's
for that.
Episodes are great.
Yeah, so I'll let you talk for her, Crystal, I guess, the one that maybe you enjoyed the most. But I want to make a platform. If it's Kushil's Guard, I listen to that one.
Come on, Crystal.
But I feel like the quick activity, that's a really weird way to put that. But the fast-paced nature of quicktivity of a current social media is always about your most current video. So I wanted to make a platform for Lana or myself, or when Andrew was here, I'll probably put this question at a later live for them as well, but a place to put out a video they're proud of for people to go check out. Yes. So starting with Lana, since there's two of us now, but what's a book this year or even last year that you're really proud of and you want people to go check out?
Come on, Lana.
No pressure. Come on.
Guys, I don't know. I'm Kiwi, so I'm like,
let's go, Lana.
No, I'm totally kidding.
It's out on the dick.
It's out on the dick. 6 o'clock.
There's
That
six on the
took
dick.
me a second.
That
That took
different.
me a second.
That's like in that digging oil video. All the kids love my dick.
So, like, what am I, like, sorry, I'm completely sidetracking, but what am I saying right now? 6.
6. The number 6.
The number 6, but
Just
now
say
we know
repeatedly.
that that's not true.
No, it's not
And
that, right?
told the secret.
I don't think it sounds that different. Like, you can tell with Australians, like, when
No,
Australians...
trust me, you can.
I
Really
work on the
fucking tell.
phone a lot, and if I don't, like, in the morning we call New Zealand, and in the afternoon we call Australia. So I have to swap my accents, because if I have my Kiwi accent when I'm talking to Australians, they're like, "Oh, you're a Kiwi, eh, bro?" And I'm just like, "Oh my god."
You know
I
how
don't
different
sound
it
like
is.
that.
How different
Lana,
it is.
you're
Myself
supposed
and
to answer
Amy-
the question about your favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the question is scrolling at the bottom, and it's like, so people with my accent.
Talking
Okay,
about
so-
the dick.
The dick.
It
So
works with chicken and chicken as well.
I
Oh
didn't
my
even
God.
think about that. So my favorite video is probably my annotation one.
Loved it. Loved your annotation one. That was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and then my next one is probably like, but the one that I want most people to see, I haven't posted yet, and that's the India Chords
Fantastic.
announcement video.
I will be
Is that
scouting
July?
that, retweeting that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I was thinking about maybe premiering it, but like because I only like.
There we go again.
Oh my goodness.
PL, you got to stop being so sexy.
You can't yell at me for my on fire joke and then say that.
Hold on, that was way better.
No.
like objectively, that was better.
I disagree.
Okay,
PL's
while
too hot
PL is
for
gone,
live.
I have to say this, and Lana will appreciate it. When I was coming to New Zealand the first time, we were late for the plane, and we were running through the airport, and Amy kept going to me. Amy kept saying, Ryan, we have to get the chicken. And I turned around to her in the airport, and I'm like, we can deal with your hunger later. We need to check in. And she's like, yeah, I need to get the chicken. Come on, there's a queue for chicken. And I'm like, Amy, I'm not queuing for chicken. And this is no joke. It was one of the first times, right, in years, we even got close to an argument. And I was like, we are late for our flight. She's like, which is why we need to get to chicken. And I'm like, all right, we can stop now and you should take a level breath. What the fuck did you just say? And she's like, check in. I'm like, I thought you meant poultry. All right. And this was a no joke, like complete misunderstanding, like really hyped up running through the airport late for our flight. And it was
The
So eyes and ears.
bilingual, even if it's interesting to hear about different accents, but bilingual relationships are bonkers. When I tell you the miscommunications, it's like step back 15 paces. What did you just say? Like the number of times that has
Especially if
happened.
you're learning. Like, how fluent were you before you moved, or is that something that you learned when you moved?
I did study abroad in high school, and I did get pretty good at the time.
Okay.
But then I went back to the States for university, did not study even a little bit. So, of course, I lost almost all of it. So I came back,
Of course.
starting from square one again.
We're talking about
So
English,
when
aren't
we
we?
met...
English?
We're talking about Japanese, you jerk.
No, I know.
I just have zero language available to me.
You're at a
But,
baseline of nothing.
Right. And then I work my way up, you know?
Yeah.
But
That's what
so
the
when
whiskey
we first
does.
met, when we first met, I would say we're at,
It's just the
I
language
was
of
at
love.
maybe 20%, like that I could do. He did the heavy lifting. Hayata did the heavy lifting in the beginning, and he was doing so much English
Hero's work.
on my. Yeah, but now I would say we're even 50-50, you know, Japanese, English, things like that. But there are still the story that I often tell is it's not just miscommunications, but it's mixing. So when you are in a bilingual relationship, you get used to mixing the two languages together in ways that are easier in each
yeah.
language. So one time he was asking me about dinner, like what I wanted to eat. And he said, "Donna kind of niku tabetai?" So donna means what kind. And then he said, kind of. Niku means meat and want to eat. So he just threw the word kind of in the middle because it was easy for him to say. And it was, that's the most disgusting sentence I've ever heard in my life. Like, it's so, the word order, and both of us just kind of paused and we were like, we're going to pretend that never happened. Like, how did those words leave my mouth?
That's very familiar.
Yep. So
that sounds like the French Canadian franglais, where people just kind of switch back and forth mid-sentence. But like, there was a point in my life that I wasn't always 100% sure if I would like which language a word belonged to, because my father's family speaks French. I do, but that's a whiskey problem and less a French problem. But my father's family speaks French and English, but they'll switch back and forth like constantly through a conversation, so that you have to be fluent in both languages, because you never know which words are going to be where.
I honestly keep forgetting about the French in Canada. I like it it does have some regions are completely French, some regions are completely not completely English, but more dominantly English.
Yeah, we live pretty close to Quebec, which is like extremely French. Some areas of Quebec have like French purity laws where they can't even have signs. Oui, les Québécois. I don't have any more French. I can't continue that sentence, but yeah, it's gone.
Just but cut it out there.
I can do the accent really good. I can't even pretend. It's
Je m'appelle Cristal.
Cristal. That is your new name, by the way. I wasn't here when you guys talked about the fact that I messed up your name. I'm so sorry. Like, it was 2 a.m. when I was making the thumbnail. Like,
honestly, like, it's the more common spelling of it with the K and the AL, so I saw it so many times growing up. Like, about half of my teachers could not be convinced to write it with the LE, so I see it and I still associate it with my name, so like it's fine. I didn't even notice. Exactly, yeah. Like Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
So I didn't even notice until
it's like I actually genuinely, when I come on the podcast, or like, I used to play loads of like music gigs in bars at home, and I would actually start to introduce myself as Cahill because it was just fucking easier. Because no one would ask me how to spell it or pronounce it afterwards.
Oh,
so we've had this scrolling at the bottom for things that have nothing to do with it. So I'll just.
What are you most proud of, Taylor? Other than this beautiful.
This video first and foremost, okay. But then, hold on. This video first and foremost, but above that, I would say it's just at the cusp of being this year. So it was last year, but my BookTube bartender series. So I only have 3 different videos for that, but I love it.
Find them.
I have so much joy when I make those videos. So basically, I imagine what characters would order at a bar, and then I explain why I think they would order it, and then I make that drink and tell you how to make it. And they take a lot of time. They take a lot of effort. But yeah, so I was gonna do Legacy, but I'm like, they already tell you what they order, so
I'm guessing.
Right.
It won't take any creativity at all.
If you do ever happen to read the series, I have a number of like spirits and liquors and stuff that are just randomly in-world named.
Done. I'm not even gonna say more than that. Absolutely done. But those
Dragon's
take
tears
a long
and
time.
worm's blood and just fucking go crazy.
Oh, I will. You will be tagged, sir. And then now that PL's back, welcome back, PL. Is your house okay? You all right?
So happy to be alive.
I'm still here. I mean, I don't know. Like, for some reason, there's some
something burning?
No. Like, we've checked the house, went downstairs, checked the we're in a building. Check the
It's
far
just-
panel, and there's no enunciator panel here, but yeah, it's just weird. Oh, Canada. right here.
Canada.
Me and Pierre are in Canada.
Yeah.
Is there much French down
Yeah.
in Toronto still, PL? Because we were talking about I'm close to Quebec, so I grew up kind of franglais, and I'm wondering.
Get to know.
Epic lived in
Great party
Gatineau.
city.
Oh.
Great party city.
Crystal,
Was
you're not near
it Gatineau?
Oh, it's in Toronto. Yeah, I grew up, born and raised in Toronto.
I'm not near anywhere. I'm
the 6.
I'm
Crystal
halfway
lives near the place
between
they filmed The Blair Witch.
Ottawa and Montreal.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Dark
correct.
Forest.
I'm in an area that's like intensely Scottish. The people in this township are still in Scotland in their heart and souls. It's intense.
Yeah, well,
And
you are,
it's
Crystal,
it's
yeah.
weird to come across.
This would be good.
Yeah.
They live in tents.
Yes, we also lived in tents.
Ah.
Yeah, Toronto obviously is very multicultural. Like
We
they
were
think we're
intensely Scottish.
I love that. I'm
Oh,
so
Vancouver.
mad that you
All
know
the
that I would
coolest
love
people
that.
live
Well,
in
hold on.
Vancouver.
You can't run through a campsite. You can only ran because it's past tense.
Look, you're trying too hard now. You can't impress me. You can't impress me. You know, the other one was,
This is
was natural.
Oh no.
this is the
Oh,
joke that
Montreal.
Ryan is most proud of.
So that
Oh,
Montreal.
Montreal. I really like Montreal.
Great party
It's
city.
beautiful.
Feels like a European city.
I based Yalesmere on Montreal.
Oh,
Really?
Just because
Wondering
it's just I feel like I need to market it better because people are always surprised when they say that, but to me it feels so obvious because I've been there so many times. But yeah, the whole area is meant to be Western Quebec, Eastern Ontario, and the wilderness, and yeah, just this area. So Yalesmere is Montreal and White Crown is Toronto. And I base all of my traveling math on I tried to get them like a similar distance from each other up the river. So when I have to figure out how long it's going to take to travel, I do the math from Montreal to Toronto, and then I can math how long it'll take to get to other areas. So
That
that's
makes sense.
that's my
though.
fantasy.
That makes a lot of
geography
sense.
nerd.
Math as a verb.
Yes.
And then I can map how far it is to get from here to here.
Yes.
Exactly.
oh, that's awesome.
So
What,
I'm
Ryan?
gonna take this.
What?
I'm gonna
take-
take the word calculated and I'm just gonna pat it on the back over here while it cries from misuse.
So I'm gonna take this
But math
opportunity
only has one syllable
to ask you guys.
to get us under control.
So the authors in the chat, okay? The authors in the chat. So Lana and I talked about our video.
Ryan, that's you.
Video we're most proud of. So the authors in the chat have a question for you, which is: would you survive in your own world? I'm so curious. And if you did, would you survive as a particular character? Like, oh, if I was this archetype, I could make it work. I'm not saying as the main character in your world, but in general, could you survive?
Survive.
Survive. Not thrive.
Survive because okay.
Not thrive. Because as a reader, I'm like, I would die. If I was in this world, I absolutely not. So I'm just curious what you guys think.
Who goes first?
Oh,
Ryan
now we're
goes
turn
first.
taking.
We're always turn taking.
Go
I
ahead.
just forget.
Ladies
It's a
first.
hard question.
Ladies first. Crystal, go ahead.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that was your perfect time to
I
say ladies
guess-
first. Go, Ryan.
Go Ryan.
Crystal.
Go Ryan. Go Ryan.
Too late now. It's Crystal. You go.
Age before beauty. No, wait. Yeah, age before beauty. PL. You.
Oh. Okay. Well, you know that my
That
world.
was mean, and I take it back.
That's okay. My world is full of a lot of bigotry and prejudice. So I could survive in certain parts of the universe, but otherwise, it'd be tough. So yeah. Not where my main character grew up and where he comes from, but there's other there's other places where I'd probably do quite well, but not where he's from. So
Epic Tales agrees. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess it depends on if I have talent or not. But like, I'm such a rule follower. I would be grounded in the dust. Like, we were at a place today, and it like there were like no dogs allowed signs everywhere, and I had to keep telling my husband, I'm anxious. I would like to take the dog away. I feel really bad. We're not supposed to have dogs here, and so yeah, I wouldn't do well. Or I would have a really mundane and miserable existence following all the stupid rules. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Well, that actually adds a lot of depth to the way that, like, how you can write the anxiety of characters who are stuck in this structure. Makes a lot of sense when you say that, you know, because it feels real when you're reading
Why
it.
do you think Crystal took all the doors out of her house? No?
Yeah, because then if they're closed, I can't go through.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's a whole iceberg underneath both of those statements.
No, Crystal literally does not have doors in the house. This isn't like this unearthed joke. There's no doors.
Yeah. We just have like there's the old log cabin, and then the room I'm in now was added on, so there's just like this gaping hole in the wall that's too big to fit a door, and then when you go upstairs, there's also no doors up there for some reason. Well,
I mean, you have control over whether there are doors or not when you say.
Whoa! Will you please stop speaking sense? Okay, we don't need any of that shit around here.
The thing about it, it's like once we just know that it's in such bad shape that once we start like peeling things back to try to renovate, it's gonna be a nightmare. So it's just like we're just gonna leave it because for now it's standing, and that's nice. And then we will figure something else out later. And I just know the host of our last podcast, Ryan, is probably listening to this and dying a little bit inside because he's a carpenter, and he reached out to me to ask, like, can I help you? Can I give you some instructions on how to have doors?
That is so pure. Can I help you with your doors?
He's so sweet. Can I help you with your door situation? Yeah, no, this house can't be helped. It can't be. So, Ryan, would you survive your world?
In your world?
Yeah, I think I'd actually probably be pretty fine. Crystal's gonna die. I think it depends. Like, I think when you read like really grim worlds, like where basically like everyone just murders everyone all the time, like absolutely no. But I think in my world, in most places, like in like the outer villages and stuff, people look after each other. Like it's like anything here. Like you have tribes, you look after your own, and you know, it's not that you attack everyone else, but you just, you know, you care for the people around you. And it's kind of something like I think I try to ask people questions like when people do stuff, when people write, is like, do they consciously work themes into their books? Because like, I never consciously do it. But I know like after reading now that the kind of, you know, family and found family and birth family and stuff is a massive thing in my books. And the idea that, you know, one thing I get commented on a lot, which I think I've said it before to you guys, which was strange to me, is I get like a lot of emails from readers and sometimes even just messages on Twitter where they basically say like, you know, it's so nice to see male characters showing genuine affection for each other. Like one is sad, the other one hugs them. And I'm like, is that not what happens in your world? Like it's so
yeah,
strange.
see, I want to revise my answer now.
But genuinely a massive amount. Like I've had a lot of emails about that sort of stuff, and it's lovely to see that that's what's being seen in the books, but it was almost strange to see that people aren't used to seeing that. You know, because
you're such a pure soul, Ryan.
No, but I think it's just the way I was raised. Like my dad's a real kind of emotional guy and a real kind of like, you know, if you have an issue, talk about it kind of person. And then a lot of my friends that I have were quite like that too. Like as in, if one of your friends is like having a shit time, like you walk over and you don't like sit there in silence, sulking. You're like, "What's up?" Like, you know, tell me. There's clearly something wrong. We're not going to fuck around with it. Like, what's the problem? Like, it doesn't all have to be crying and sobbing and hugging, but like you ask. So like I like to have that in the books because I want to see that kind of. I think in a lot of other books, I suppose when I do think about it, is like the only time male characters show any kind of even physical affection for each other is if they're in a relationship together. If there's never any like heterosexual male emotional support. It always tends to be, it has to be a relationship.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big theme for me in the books as well.
That's funny you'd say that.
Yeah,
because
I'd like to revise my answer. Ryan has inspired me.
Sorry, you already got that.
No, shut up, Brad. I did write communities that take care of each other, and as much as it's a hard world, I think I think what Ryan said is actually really important, just to show that vulnerability, regardless of gender, and I did try to capture that, and I hope it does shine through where people take care of each other, and it's kind of our path to salvation as a culture, where reaching through the trauma to each other. So I would say that if I was in one of the good communities that is tough and doesn't take any shit, maybe they would protect me because I'm a wimp.
I think that's pretty common in most books. I think a lot of authors, when you have these horrible worlds like Joe Abercrombie's, like grimdark stuff, and like, oh, you never survive in there. But when you look at it, even in those kind of books, like when you read a little bit of The Heroes, and you see that the groups that are together, they're tight knit. Like you'll probably live a shorter life because
you have to
but they look after you.
Yeah,
I think PL had something to say too on there.
No, I was gonna say that I think Ryan was talking about the whole almost toxic masculinity stuff, and I think I look back at my books, and there is an element of that there, but yet there's other characters that aren't like that. So I just think with every book you have characters that are representatives of every viewpoint, right? So you have characters that are more touchy-feely and more emotional, and characters that are very cold emotionally, and characters that are in between. So I think like it all depends on how you look at them and stuff. Like for me, when I think about toxic masculinity and masculinity, like when you look at characters like in the books, I'll have people who are masculine in the fact that they embody the masculine themes of they want to be someone who protects someone, but it's understandable that sometimes to protect someone you have to be vulnerable to them. And you don't protect someone by always physically protecting them. You sometimes protect them by enabling them to grow and protect themselves. And I think it's that kind of element of masculinity and femininity that I really like. And because you will see there's so much toxicity on both sides with stuff like that. And you'll see it. And I love I think when I write the books that I'm writing now, I want bad things to happen. There's bad people who are there, but there's certain things that I always kind of want to drive home with them. Like I think I've said it before, like there's certain things I won't put in my books. Like just because, not because they don't happen in real life, not because it's not realistic, but just because like I'm finally getting a choice to create a world where it doesn't happen. So, there's certain things that I'll go with, but I love reading books of all different types. Yeah. It's something that I only kind of realized after I was writing it, that this is the way I did it. Yeah, we talked about that a lot we talked about that. We've talked about that a lot on podcasts, but there was a one page episode with Thomas Hart Riley and Mark Timoney. And we're talking about the difference between writing a world where, for example, the norms of gender and sexuality are, it's just there. And there's people who are bisexual, there's people who are gay, there's people who are heterosexual, and it's just part of the world versus pointing out, intolerance, bigotry, homophobia, and all those things. Like, so I find that, we need both kind of books. We need books that, like you're saying with you, Ryan, like it just is, right? And then you need books that point out, hey, people have a problem with this, and because we need to, which is more like my book. It's all about all the problems and all the issues, right? And so I think we need both.
It's like shining a spotlight on it so that people can see the effect that it has
it's
and kind of examine it in themselves. And I try to. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Go ahead, Ryan.
No. Lana, you were chiming into your point. You keep going.
Was it Taylor or Lana was going to say something? I didn't hear.
Yeah. Well, I was. Oh, sorry, Crystal. Finish your point, and then I'll go.
I don't remember what it was, so you go.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Crystal. But I was just gonna say, as a reader, I think we need both of those too, because there's a time and a place to read each one, right? So, reading PL's book is very different from even reading Legacy. Just talking about the two of the authors we've got here, You know, I feel like PL's book, A Drowned Kingdom, really puts it in you are in the perspective of the person who's having these biases. So you cannot escape it. It's in your face from page 1 on purpose. Whereas I feel like, Crystal, your book with Legacy, there are things that you're supposed to think about and that are put in front of you. But for example, sexuality is something that is not thought about. It just is.
Yeah, it was.
So, you know, there are different aspects you can pull
Yeah,
from each book. So, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's something that I did kind of by accident, but then it was like it was a happy accident, just because I didn't have the emotional bandwidth to walk people through what it feels like to be discriminated against for their sexuality. And then I was talking to my one of my readers, and they were saying, you know, like that there's so much danger in the world, and it feels it's such a statement that at least for queerness it's safe. And I felt like that was a happy accident, and I stand behind that 100%. And then going forward in the series, it's been kind of a journey to figure out which pieces of identity are going to have the safety rails on, where it's just accepted, and which pieces are going to dig into what it's like for us here. And I think that was really hard to come to terms with as I was writing the second book, because the second book is dark. And, you know, any of you who have known me for any length of time, I look at Brightwash and go, it's not that dark, is it? So then when the second book came around, it was like, oh boy, this is dark. Like, holy fuck, I'm sorry. So, you know, it's been a weird
Literally,
journey.
you need to have a foreword.
Anyway, I'm going to get all emotional again. PL, you're getting your revenge.
That says, grab a tissue and buckle up, bitches. And that's just your foreword.
I actually
I need an affiliate link
for tissues.
I actually put a
an
forward
affiliate link for whiskey and tissues.
I'm gonna say like that could be construed in many different ways. Here's an affiliate link for some Kleenex.
I mean,
Ryan,
it's true.
Do I have to bring out my mom voice again, Ryan?
I actually had to put a forward the second book to say, hey, this is the character. This isn't me. Obviously, I don't think this way. For people who didn't know, like I wrote that way, and people who I
didn't understand.
Like I got one email is like, I can't believe you're black and you wrote this. I'm like, yeah. Like you get
you're
like,
so close to the point,
I'm
my
trying to
man.
say something. I've heard all of this in my life. Yeah.
It's like maybe with a bit more thinking there, you might understand why. Like but anyways, it's just
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's such a weird place to be as a writer, where we make these choices and then people notice the choices and go, why did you do that? It's like, well, just sit with it for a second and maybe you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right.
This got heavy. I'm blaming Ryan. It's Ryan's fault.
I think I'm the only one who didn't get too heavy.
If you wanna lighten it up, I do have one last question I had prepared. Look at me, hostess. The whiskey question. Which whiskey are you dying to try? It's where Whiskey and Books group.
Okay, last question. We got to bring this home. Last question.
Writer's Tears. I really want to try Writer's Tears.
Writer's Tears.
It's really good.
All you got to do is find Crystal, just punch her in the stomach, get a glass underneath the eye, drink.
It doesn't even take that much. All I have to do is talk to PL, and then both of us are crying.
Emotionally attuned.
Just collect it every live, you know.
And I'm just in the corner being like, dragons and shit.
Someone
but you're cute.
Make an image of that. Just PL and Crystal crying in the corner, you know, like that would be an amazing image.
We're gonna cry together on every podcast, PL.
Yeah, just drive the ratings up.
It's just been from laughter.
Yeah, truly.
I
what
whiskey are you going to try?
Well, I asked this question. I don't necessarily have an answer. I didn't have one until yesterday, but I have never tried Lefroy, which I got.
Oh, yeah.
Never tried it. So I was going to try it here, but I feel like we got to go soon, so I'll save it.
Yeah.
But that's one that I really want to try because I am a bourbon person at heart. I like the sweet notes of bourbon, the vanillas of it. I'm just a huge fan. So when it comes to if Sarah was here, her and I would be probably the exact opposite of the taste spectrum on the whiskey.
Yeah, you should have tried it with her.
I really want to. That's why I'm thinking not to do it because she's kind of the one that inspired me to want to do it. So, yeah. So that would be mine, but we'll see one day. One day
I want to try whiskey that doesn't really exist. I want to try Imberley whiskey. That's what I want to try. Because I read this book and all I kept thinking is, man, this makes, on top of how good it was, man, this makes you want to drink whiskey. It just, the whole book is like...
Look, listen,
I'll tell you my secret, PL.
Oh, go ahead, Crystal. You go first, yeah.
Oh, some secrets going on here.
You go first, because this one I'll remember, so you go ahead.
Okay,
this is like Crystal's #1 funny joke or something. She has a pin now.
She's waiting. But I was just going to say, I wanted to start this
I'm ready.
for a long time because I noticed the trends of the people who like the books that I like are also posting about whiskey on Twitter. And I was like, I feel like we would vibe. And that's kind of where the idea for this group started. And then I read Legacy. And that was a moment where I was like, I know who to invite. I know exactly who to invite to start this. So I messaged Steve right away. I messaged Crystal right away. It was the three of us that started this because I was like, I know the three of us are in on this. So, the love of the culture, not just drinking, of course, but the culture and the making and the history that comes with whiskey it seeped through those pages. So I don't blame PL for wanting to try that fictional whiskey. I felt the same. So
yeah, the Ladova. So the big secret is that while I was revising some of those sections, I watched a documentary, and the distillery in the documentary was I don't know if you can see this.
I saw that in the story.
So
wow.
If you try any of their whiskeys is who I was writing about, because they were talking about the Isla culture, and they were talking about how towns grew around the distilleries, and I was just so captivated. I was like, I have to get this in the book, and Ladova was born. So you can actually try it, PL. You can try their Octomore, and that's what I envisioned for the cast strength whiskey.
A comment came through on YouTube while you were talking.
I know what Ryan's laughing about. I know, Ryan. So it's definitely a bot. So I'll put it up. It's a bot. I couldn't ignore it, but
girl, you think of it
a bot, but then Ryan laughed, and I was like, now I gotta put it up.
Oh man.
Yeah, you gotta.
Oh man.
Well, thank you for telling us that, Crystal, because in-store purchases here are very limited. Very limited. It has to be online. Or it's Japanese whiskey, right? So I saw that on the shelf and I was like, wait, I feel like I saw Sarah post about that on the Discord. Right? I think Sarah.
Yeah, it's this one.
It posted the picture.
Where is it? Yeah, yeah, I think I posted the picture, and I've always got the Bruichladdich in the background. But this bottle of Octomore is why Sarah and I are friends. So they do a new one every year. I think they're on 12 or 13 now. But my husband bought me this bottle of Octomore I can't find the label. There we go. To celebrate Brightwash's publication, and I posted that on Twitter, and Sarah saw it and said, I want to be friends with that person if they like Octomore. And then and the rest is history. So you can actually try Ladova, because that's what I based it on.
That's a reasonable basis to assume someone's personality.
Completely reasonable. Healthy.
Normal. Yeah, because heavily peated whiskey is a very specific personality.
Tastes like dirt in history.
And the Octomore is pretty heavily peated. Yeah.
I love good peaty scotch. Bog scotch.
All right.
Yeah.
So that was PL's answer, and then Crystal's answer to PL. So, Crystal, do you have one that you want to try? Did you say that somewhere in there and I missed it? I'm sorry.
No, she just.
No, my answer is just that. No, my answer is that I just want to try them all. Like I just want to know everything there is to know, and it just is probably an obsession now. But shut up. But that it's really hard to find nicer whiskeys around here. So anytime I find something that Sarah would like, I'm buying it. So like the Lefroy, I can't remember the list of the things that she told me I have to try, but it's pretty long.
Yeah, there's an endless amount out there to try, right? So, but what about you, Ryan? Oh, sorry, Crystal. Sorry, Crystal. You good?
No, her answer was like, I just
I'm good.
Hi, Ryan.
I'm a whiskey slut, Ryan. It's I just love it so much.
Oh, wow, that got intense.
I was just about to say.
What do you want to try?
What were you going to say, Lana? Hold on, Lana. Yeah?
I was about to say that she did admit to being a whiskey hoe at the start, along with me.
She did. Yeah.
Sure
at the beginning, me and Lana. It's true.
Right?
I apologize, guys. I gotta run. It's only 10 o'clock here, but yeah, and tomorrow's a long day with page chewing. Check us out if you got. I know it's probably out of time zone for most of you, but
hashtag a Drowned Kingdom.
Right.
Nice. And we're on. We have Mihir and Mihir from Fantasy Book Critic and Blaze from Under the Radar Books. That's at 1 and then 7 p.m. Oh, you're a sweetheart. Thank you.
I can't reach mine.
Yeah, me neither.
I win, Taylor.
Damn it.
And then we have Natanya Barron. Natanya Barron is amazing. 7 p.m. Check her. She is awesome. She does the Thread Talk stuff. She's a great writer. She is just incredible. So, but love you guys. Gonna sign off. So we'll see you guys around the block. All right, take care.
You.
All right, okay, take care. You too.
We'll make you cry next time.
Absolutely.
So before we go, because I do have to do, I think we all have days to do. But Ryan, why don't you close out with
Ryan didn't answer the question.
That's because PL left before listening.
How dare he?
He's such an aggressively friendly guy. Yeah.
He's so wonderful. Like I feel like we don't deserve him. Like he's he's too pure and too wonderful.
Not just us, the world.
I know. It's true.
Anyway, we cut you off, Ryan, after I asked you. Hi.
No, don't worry. I don't even. No, I think the only one I can think of off the top of my head is one I saw ages ago. There's like a Johnny Walker did like a master's edition, and it's like $25,000 a bottle, and there's only 100 bottles in the world. So Jesus. I have as much chance of trying it as PL does of the fictional whiskey.
Right.
But it just looks really cool. It's in this like cool, like angular black glass bottle and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, exclusive stuff can be a pipe dream, but that's
exactly
what I'm keeping it as a pipe dream.
There's an Octomore. There was an Octomore that was laid in casks in 1988, and that's the same year I was born. And I'm not gonna lie, I'd like to try that one. But it's another one where it's many thousands of dollars because it's
put aside all your royalties
because I'm old.
I'm gonna leave my channel in your hands for 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Don't
burn it down.
Break everything. Be right back.
Famous last word.
What happened last time? Yeah. How about you, Lana? Is there anything that you want to try, or you're just like all of them?
Yeah, all of them, because like pretty much Australia is pretty crappy for like cool whiskey or bourbon, like or just cool stuff in general. Apart from like the Hemsworths.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. What are you doing? Don't do that.
They're ridiculously handsome men.
Yeah. But yeah, no, because like pretty much here, and because the tax on alcohol is so very high, like your options are very limited.
Goon
like-
bags.
Passion pop, goon bags, and
What's the point of even living?
bourbon wise, you're pretty much stuck to like something that's affordable for like everyday people. You've got Uncle Jack or Uncle Jim, and that is pretty much it. If someone is Australian in the chat, correct me, but like it's so expensive to drink alcohol here. Like
It's funny for me coming over here because in New Zealand, when I talk about bourbon, everyone's like, oh, Woodstock, bourbon and Coke. We all drink it when we're 15. It's like this horrible, shitty drink. And hold on, bourbon's one of the most expensive alcohols to procure across the world because it's only made in Kentucky. It's like, how do you guys drink it as kids? Like, it's back home, we have like cheap produced acid cider. And that's what people drink.
Wait. Roll back. They mix whiskey and Coke.
Yep.
This hurts me. That's gross.
That's normal.
People
That's what I grew up on.
It's pretty normal for. I would have whiskeys that I would consider mixing whiskeys, and then I'd have straight whiskeys. So like I would never put any of the whiskeys we're talking about in Coke. But like if I get like Jack Daniels, like a normal Jack Daniels, it's going in Coke.
Yep.
Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
Jack and Coke, exactly. Yeah. Same thing like Evan Williams, like a
guess
baseline
maybe
Evan
this
Williams
is-
stuff. That's a mixer.
You just didn't hear about this out in the forest, Crystal.
Maybe that's what it is. It's whiskey and ginger ale and rum and Coke, and that's it. Like those are the options when you're going out as a young
Canadian club.
person.
And
There's
what-
none of this whiskey and Coke bullshit.
What pirate island were you raised on?
Ryan,
It's
don't
really
you
funny for
listen?
me. It's really funny for me because I'm pretty sure you have like a 3 or 4 second delay on what I say. So like I say something
Yes.
and it just looks like you're a little bit slow. I say something, you're just like,
No, I've just had a lot of whiskey.
the face of
That's just me.
uncertainty.
Yeah, I
Oh
That's-
my gosh.
just being up. Oh,
Oh,
I offended her
that's,
that much that she left.
she's out. Left. Peace out. That was too far, Ryan. That was too far.
I think it was just far enough. Yeah.
So, I know you got writing to do. It's, Lana and I have a day to do, and we'll wait and see if Crystal comes back in before we actually leave. But I want to give you guys a chance beforehand to just let people know, people who watch this later, where they can reach you, where your books, where they can find your books in
Anywhere
Ryan's
that's
case.
not following me on the street.
Please tell me that hasn't happened to you yet.
Not yet. But I feel like
Okay. At least not yet. But maybe just let the people know who you are, how they can contact you. Lana, are you busy at the moment, or you need a minute? Yeah, you need a minute. That's cool. Okay.
small child.
So Ryan, you want to go first?
Yeah, Ryan Cahill, whatever way you want to pronounce it. I always feel weird because I don't want to look directly at the camera because it feels like I'm just eyeballing someone. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, find my books on Amazon, I have a website. I found out recently, which was like a milestone for me, that if you type my name into Google, I'm like one of those featured results. Like the first thing, like it has like my bio and all the stuff comes up on it, and it's really cool. And I showed it to my
That
mom,
is fucking
obviously.
cool.
So
Oh my god.
yeah, go team.
Okay. Just Google it. Just Google
Seriously,
it.
yeah, it's so cool to be able to say that. But yeah, just Google it.
All right. Lana, are you good? No, you gotta
tiny,
take
tiny
a
cup.
sip of a drink.
Yeah.
If you're on this channel, watching this, you probably know who I am. Taylor, maybe between the pages, but I know that Ryan did share this link. You shared it on your Discord. So if there are people who don't know me, my channel is Made Between the Pages, which you can see below. I have a booktube channel. I'm also on Twitter. The links are always in my descriptions. Thanks to Lana I have found a huge love for indie through her Indie Accords readathon last year, and
That's why
I
we
can't
call
wait
her
for it this
Lana the
year.
Legend.
I'll let Lana talk about that. But if you're interested in self-pub, amazing self-pub like Ryan's books, I love to talk about it. Get to your books eventually, my dude. But I love to talk about indie books. I would love to see you on the channel.
Yeah, I'm Lana. You can find me on BookTube as Lauren Lullabies, or on Twitter or Instagram as Law_Lullabies. No, the Dark Knights will win.
Dark Knights. So the Indie Accords readathon has team names. So
okay.
Lana and I are on the Dark Knights team, and Thiago's on Narwhal. So he's our mortal enemy now, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Knew he was evil.
Awesome. See ya, Thiago. So it is a indie and self-pub readathon running from the 1st to the 31st of July. And yeah, there are 3 teams. For every 10 pages you read, you get 1 point. And then there isn't like any specific prizes this year, because last year I completely forgot all about them after I drew them and forgot to contact the people. So when I started this year, I was just like, shit, you want a prize? Send me your like indie wish list.
I will chuck in a hardback if you want.
Really?
Yep.
You heard it here first. Exclusive. Woo. Exclusive.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Yeah, and so I actually do have a couple of authors, and now Ryan, that have said that they'll like chuck in giveaways as well. There's heaps of indie authors doing sales right now, so I have like spreadsheets, so many spreadsheets. So there is.
You have 2, don't you?
No, I have many.
So many.
I have to like put them all together. But yeah, so that's happening. It's really fun. We have some awesome booktubers that are the team captains, and yeah, it doesn't matter what team you're in. You can just read whatever it is that you want to. Just read indie. That's the sole purpose of this whole readathon.
There is also a prompt sheet available. Did you mention that? Did I just blank when you said that there was a prompt sheet available too for people who like putting TBRs on prompt sheets? Lana has made a really nice one where you can superimpose, the book that you're going to read for the specific prompt, and a lot of people are sharing that as well. So
Thiago actually, I did like a main basic bingo one, and then Thiago made like the prettier one. So we're all just using that.
How do we find it? How do we get to the Indie Accords? What is the path we take?
There's a Twitter account, isn't there?
Yeah.
Sorry, Crystal, that was for Lana.
God, Crystal, shut up. You're always just talking when I'm trying to talk.
Well, welcome back, Crystal. The first thing we say is we don't want you.
Yeah. So there is a Twitter at Indie Accords, and all of the info is on there. And we've got a Discord as well. There's a sign-up sheet. And then the prompts and the host favorites. So there as well, because that's one of the prompts.
I knew the answer. I did my homework.
You understood the assignment.
Look at that. And then if they want to find just you, Lana, not the Indie Accords, where can they go for your wonderful self?
Just Twitter mainly. That's become my like main social media platform that I hang out with, because it's got cool people there that I can chat with. And share all this shit. So yeah, pretty much there. Law_Lullabies, or I post occasionally on BookTube.
Occasionally, once in a while. So, Crystal, before I guess your Wi-Fi or whatever cuts you out, we're kind of doing the sign off, and then just saying where people can find you, things like that.
This is why Adrian calls me his booty baby, because my Wi-Fi is shit out here and I hate it.
Sorry, can you please explain that a bit more?
Wait. I don't get the connection between the explanation and that title. I don't think I made the leap there.
That's literally it. Because he uploads on Riverside, and it has to it has to fully upload onto the website before you can close the whatever the browser,
Does that have to
and
do with
it
booty?
literally takes my stupid internet 12 hours. The boonies is like out in the middle of nowhere.
A boonie.
I thought you said
heard booty. Me
like
too.
booty.
You said boonie.
I
seriously thought you said booty.
That's why all of us were like,
Married, you pervert.
we were confused.
And you were like, yeah, obviously I'm his booty baby. What's your problem?
Yeah.
Obviously. This is why I'm Adrian. Can you say?
Yeah, I don't really know how we
Ooh,
can
that
recover from
happened.
that one.
Adrian, I hope you're watching. Well, you can find me on Twitter.
I got that. All right, on Twitter. All right.
At Crystal Matar,
Booty baby.
where I'm wildly inappropriate.
At booty_baby.
I'm everyone's booty baby on Twitter. Wildly inappropriate as a social media brand. Yeah, that's
All
it.
right.
That's all I got.
Great. I have sent you
I'm
comments.
so glad I came back for
All right.
that massive misunderstanding.
So just I hope you all, whoever hasn't joined us in this first live we've done for this group, has enjoyed the chaos and the joy that is this group of people together. We will be doing lives later, I'm sure, when all of us
comes back and watches a 2-hour and 15-minute video. I salute you.
Truly.
Of us just absolutely having chaos.
All of us are in different time zones, so we do our best to get together. That's why whenever we do these lives for Whiskey and Books, name to be determined, because I'm not happy with that name, but there will be people popping in and out every once in a while whenever we do these. But
One nomination for Booty Babies.
I
bet it would get a lot of clicks.
Unironically in the poll. I will put it in the poll.
Put it in the description on this one.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, I will. You know what? Done. But thanks to anyone who's here in the beginning, who's here at the end, who watches it later, and we'll see you in the future for people who love whiskey and who love books. So talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
And chaos.
Bye.